what we do now is we fold corn.
It goes to the city secretary.
Well, then that'd be him right here.
It's
Or it
corn
could go
fold.
over here.
So there is.
Okay, good.
Zero.
Well, exactly, because I mean, this is something that I told him about before, because I still had all the documentation.
He said he had looking into it, he said, right on.
The scouts are not available today.
Oh, that's fine.
It's just only, it's only one demerit, it's fine.
No, we're not waiting on Boy Scouts, we're waiting on this Boy Scout. Oh, we're up and running? Okay. Let's call the meeting to order. It is 6:35. We're going to do a pledge of allegiance. No, we go by call to order. And we do a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Looks like we missed the prayer, but Gary, would you say the prayer, please?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we want to tell you you are welcome in this place, Father. And we ask that you just give us the wisdom tonight to be about your business, Father, and taking care of what's right for this city. Father, we just thank you for all the good things that you're doing, Father, and your love and your mercy and your grace. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I want you to throw in storms in there.
I did that
Let's
this morning.
start with Jeff Thibodeau. Roll call.
Jeff Thibodeau, Ward 3.
Doug Emmons, Ward 2, Mayor Pro Tem.
Sherry Mitchell, Mayor.
Jim Wright, Ward 3.
Bud Maradino, Ward 1.
Gary Watson, Ward 1.
Let it be shown that Lonnie is absent. Any citizens' comments?
Yes, we have one from Reginald Spencer.
Come up.
Come on down.
Oh, is there any conflict of interest? Sorry, I skipped that.
No.
None.
I'm good.
Okay.
Come on down, Reggie.
Well, I had
If you would just tell us who you are and what your address is.
my name is Reginald Spencer. My address is 13545 Moss Hill Drive. I have two concerns. One is a little bit more important than the other. I wrote on the card, they driving on Moss Hill like, man, I mean, 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's bad. It's got to the point to where even when I'm walking my dogs or my son want to come out here to play, it's bad. I mean, the speeding is just like, it got out of hand. And I'm outside working in my yard, kind of get people to, you can't tell people to slow down. I mean, that's not, it's no good way of telling them that, but they should know that already, And so I don't know what else to do. I know somebody told me about putting these signs out, kids playing, and whatnot, but it's real bad. Somebody's gonna get hit, And every once in a while I see the sheriff pass, I want to stop and talk to him and, ask him if he could patrol a little bit more, but Moss Hill is like, it's like a racetrack, I mean, it's real bad, whether it's go-karts, four-wheelers, and I understand the kids will be kids, but the vehicles, like, it's real bad, And it's got to the point where I said, well, I'm going to just start writing license plates and give it to the officers. I don't want to get into that, because you mix, I didn't want to start nothing, but, it's bad, it's bad. So just on Moss Hill, and I see them going Sweet Gum, but man, on Moss Hill, our street is small, and I mean, it's like, man, I mean, nonstop, every day, It's almost like the same vehicles too, and but on the other note as well, I don't know if I can squeeze this in, but I want to talk also about my house. My wife had said that y'all had said to come get a permit, but it'll be only good for 6 months. The problem we have with that, we have people that we already been paid to do our house. So we kind of working on their schedule. It's gonna take us about a year to do our house for us, because it's completely like gutted, and I mean, just with their time frame, even like the bricklayer that we paid, and he's been waiting, well, at one time he was waiting on us, now we're waiting on him because it's scheduled. So we don't want to know if we could have at least a year, and it might not take that long, you know, but we didn't want to get the permit and then we're not finished in 6 months. It's like, what's next, you know? So we didn't know what we needed to do.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Typically, this is not a time when council interacts, but this is pretty laid back tonight.
Okay, I'm
And
sorry.
no, it's fine. This is just part of what we can do. To your point on Moss Hill, is that people coming from like River Bend?
Yes. Yeah. Well, both ways. Both ways. River Bend. Some people. Some of them not residents back there. You know, some of them. You know, but for the majority, it's the same vehicles that's
Okay.
passing by.
Is it specific times, or is it
All
just
day
all
long,
of them?
all day long,
Okay.
you know, and I'm out there all the time, you know, in the
Yeah.
yard, and I mean, it's bad, you know,
Okay.
it's real bad.
We had a good response from the sheriff's department. At one time, there was a couple of vehicles that were going really fast down Sweet Gum.
Correct.
The license plate numbers were gotten, and the sheriff's department will go knock on their door. They can't give them a ticket, but they can go up there and say, hey, you know, I mean, when I catch you, you know,
Yeah, and that's
you may have your car impounded, you may
well,
have,
maybe, you know, maybe that might stop.
I mean, I'm just saying, I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has happened before.
Correct,
And that,
correct.
your name would never be brought, you know.
Okay,
it would
that's
never
fine,
be
I
that.
just, you know, I don't wanna see nobody get in trouble, or get a ticket, but they gotta slow down.
We don't wanna
man.
see
I mean,
anybody get hit
Yeah,
either.
man, it's bad, and there's more kids live back there now, you know, dogs roaming free, they gonna get hit, you know, and, so it just.
The other part about the house, probably the thing to do is you got a 6-month permit
Correct.
right now.
No,
Prob-
we hadn't picked the permit up
You
yet.
didn't get it.
Okay, so if you get a 6-month permit, if you come back before council in 5 months and say, okay, well, look, I did this and I did this, and I'm waiting on this guy to come do this,
Correct.
you know, then I would feel like that if you showed progress, that the council would, you know, say, hey, man, you know, okay, so
Yeah.
you need this much more time. We kind of got ourselves, we stuck our neck out a while back and gave somebody a year variance on an ordinance.
Correct.
And we didn't get the thing didn't go like we thought it would go.
And I don't think it's gonna take that long, but if it was me doing all the work, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, but we're relying on other people, and we can't just say just swap and get somebody else, because they've been paid before, you know, to do it. At one time, they was waiting on us all these years.
I would
so we
say
have
get
to
the
use it.
permit, get what you can get done,
Okay.
come back before council and get, you
Okay.
know, and
Reggie,
that your
like-
thought,
I was gonna say, like
Absolutely.
Bud's saying,
Absolutely,
you know,
yeah.
it's communication.
Okay,
Just
And seeing
tell us,
progress.
Yeah, and progress.
Yeah, if you
Absolutely.
show in progress, and
That's
there's
fine.
no problem with that, because we
All right.
all, as a council, we want to see the place come back around.
Okay.
We'd love to see you finish your home, and we don't want to do anything to impede that.
that's fine, okay. All right,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Definitely ain't gonna try to
But
stop
like
it.
I said, I had them 2 issues, I mean, concerns, but the one that, you know, first one, man, I was just like, you know, yeah, that's somebody gonna get killed.
Yeah.
you know, so.
If you
Well,
could
that's
take any photographs would help too.
Okay.
I mean,
And
if it's the
Dante's gonna
same
be
people
here.
every time.
Oh, yeah, it's the same.
Document this, and man, we do what we can.
Okay.
And
All
Dante
right.
will be here tonight too, so you can bring that to Dante Miller's attention. because
Okay, who's Dante?
he's-
Chief
uh,
Deputy.
Chief Deputy of Jefferson County.
Okay.
He's running late, but he'll be here.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all time.
Just letting you know, this is an age-old problem, okay?
Yes.
Speeders.
This has been around
Oh,
since
yeah.
the same discussions and stuff.
And it's
since I
25
moved
miles
out
an
here.
hour on his road.
I mean, we've looked at a lot of different things. We talked about putting speed bumps out and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. And there's pros and cons to anything that you do,
Correct.
okay? So
Yeah.
don't think this is going on deaf ears, because it's not. 'cause
And
we're
the street just so
always-
narrow, that's what scared me the most, you know, and,
Yeah.
at one time, somebody they tore my mailbox up, you know, they hit it, yeah, they destroyed it, which, but I knew the guy who done it, he called me and, you know, man, look, I made a mistake, but slow down, you know what I mean, slow down, you know, so that's all, that was one of the concerns I had.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all time.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Appreciate your comments. That's the only one, Mayor.
All right, Dante's still running late, so we're going to skip his presentation. We're going to review and approve the consent items, and then if Dante's here, then we'll go back to Dante. So up for consideration are consent items. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I wanted to ask that question, because if you read the second page of the thing we have here, it says that any agenda item is subject to discussion only, action only, or both discussion and action, which is kind of what we're doing, right? And so on the financial reports and the utility innovations report and the previous meetings, then we do have discussion. If I'm not mistaken, we didn't have that the last, we were just saying that these items are just, you motion, second, and approve. There wasn't any discussion.
There wasn't before, and this verbiage wasn't there before, but now it is, so that's why it's open for review.
So it changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever, I remember hearing Drew say, if we want to discuss it, all we've got to do is amongst ourselves,
Discuss.
is there enough people who want to, you say, if you want to discuss it,
Well,
if you want to discuss it and somebody else seconds that, I think you have to have two people besides you to say, I want to discuss it, then we open it for discussion.
Well, if there's I'm just saying, if there's just a little item in there on the financial, or a little item on whatever that we're approving right here, and somebody wants to say, hey, did y'all all catch this little thing right here? And maybe the people didn't, you know what I'm saying? And maybe this guy did, or that guy did, and I didn't see it, and now I'm looking at it, and maybe we want to check into it.
The last meeting that we had, I'd had some things on the financials that I had highlighted, and then I couldn't say anything because we were just taking a vote. So I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I may see something and go, hey, hold up.
100%.
That's why
Let me
this is a
just
process
point of order
of
here.
growth,
If we're,
making changes.
if we're voting on this by rule of order, why wouldn't we have a point of discussion before we vote?
But we didn't, but now we do.
But now we do.
Right. That's.
It was confusing to me. I didn't understand why we couldn't discuss it, how we're just going through this and just approving it, because, I mean, we're not discussing it.
I like it.
Because as things happen, we're making changes.
Okay.
Make it better for everybody.
I don't have a problem with any of it, I'm just saying, I mean, I'm glad we have it.
Yep.
And can I have a motion to approve the consent items?
I'll make the motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. All right. Up for review and action, these items are up for consideration, discussion, approval to have an additional council member over roads and drainage. Can I have a motion?
I make the motion.
And can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Starting with Jeff?
Well, I feel like there's a lot to do with roads and drainage. There is a lot to do. This is a big area, several entities to choose from, or that we've got to call in for help, for, you got to determine, is it county, is it precinct, is it this or that, is it the citizens? And I think that's a lot to put on any one person, especially if that person is still working full-time. So I would be absolutely open to seeing what other kind of distribution we could do on this workload.
I agree with that. My issue is one we've talked about before, is that, to me, what's critical here is communication between the two. And not just doing it, but some regimentation around doing it, whether it's once a week, once a month, once a phone call, you know, whatever it is, that I would expect the two that are involved in it to develop, not me that not doing it. But that has been part of our problems, not just in getting things done, but it's been part of our problems with our behavior and our attitudes and some of that other, is that when the right doesn't know what the left is doing and whatnot. So to me, I'm for doing that. I just want to be sure that we got a good open line of communication.
I talked to
Okay,
Doug.
let me interject right here. Okay, first of all, the appointment of duties and stuff is up to the mayor. for any of our positions.
Say it again.
The appointment of duties, of responsibilities, is up to the mayor,
Okay.
okay? Second of all, I know Councilman Marandino was wanting to be put on this. I have a very big problem with that because he's already proven that he will go and talk to these people and they will tell him yes or no on stuff, and they tell him no on about doing certain things, and he goes out and does it anyway. And which the stuff he can do can cause more harm than good. We don't need that.
What's stuff?
Hold a minute. I don't disagree with that, but of that in principle. But one of the things you've got to admit that he's been getting some stuff done that's in that arena. And I personally don't have an issue with that as long as we've got that good open line of communication, the right knows what the left is doing. I'll say it again, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but.
Well, I mean, that's, I think that's probably one of the biggest problems is the communication, okay?
Got that?
And that's one thing that he repeatedly demonstrated that he's not willing to do. Okay? He doesn't think that rules and regulations and laws apply to him.
On roads and drainage?
Yes.
Even though I don't get to vote or anything, can I ask you guys to hold off or table this issue until November's election? Because we'll have new people coming in, and being that this is something that Bud is interested in,
Well,
if that's the case, he and I should sit down and maybe talk about it, or figure out if Doug's no longer in charge of roads and drainage in November, then that'd be a good opportunity. So that way we don't have a struggle.
I'm gonna just tell you, okay, look, so a lady comes in the office and has a tree top fall in a DD6 ditch, okay? I have the guy's cell phone number, he's a friend of mine, this is his district out here, okay? So I call him, and the next day, I guess, they came out and they removed the tree from the ditch. I'm not trying to get any credit or anything, I'm just trying to get something done. Doug, you're at work, okay? So I don't know how you can't see it. I mean, I had to go see it to make sure it was something. But I'm not trying to get any kind of credit or anything. And if you're referring to the one meeting that we had with Eddie Arnold and I always want to call him Toby, but it's not Toby. Jody. Okay. The mayor was sitting right next to me in that meeting. Okay. And y'all communicate all the time. You and I weren't, and I'm the first to admit, you and I weren't communicating, okay? I looked at my text messages. The last time I got a text message from you was when you power washed the little office over there. So that's been a hot minute, That's been a while since Doug's, he and I had a text message conversation. Now, why the mayor didn't convey that to you, I don't know. Maybe I just assumed that she would. I don't know why. I mean, I really didn't think it was a big deal because it was a win for the city. We were getting them to come out and actually do something, and they dug that ditch over there and fixed that drainage problem over on Yellowstone. They tore those culverts out, the county did, and I'm pretty sure you had said that they couldn't do that.
No, I had submitted a work order in for them to do it.
And they did it.
Okay.
After we talked to them, they did it. But, there's going to be some new people in place. I just want to tell you right now. And Brandon Willis is a personal friend of mine, okay? He's a personal friend of mine. And I feel like he has family out here. I feel like that for the better of the citizens out here, that we might have a little bit of an edge on getting some work done, maybe, okay? I mean, better than not.
After the election.
Well, right now, Eddie Arnold's in there, and he's a friend of mine. And I mean, I talk to him, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't understand the reasoning for not going ahead. I mean, if the lady comes in, then what do? We tell them to call you at work, and you're going to,
The girls in the office can make the phone calls too. They have the authority to do that. That's why, I mean, me personally, I'm asking you if you can wait until November, because if we have Brandon Willis come in November and you show an interest because you're personal friends with him.
My guess, I got his cell phone number
Well,
too. He's the only two. There's
I got
two of
Mike's-
them.
I got Mike's too. Well, there's 2 more people that are.
They're not,
going
they're
on the
out of
ballot.
it. They're out of it.
We don't need multiple people communicating with them on stuff that's happening within the city. It's
On roads
already
and drainage.
proven that that does not work and is counterproductive.
When?
Oh, but I'm not,
I mean, I can't understand any reasoning. I can't understand the reasoning. And to be honest with you, if my own personal belief is if I can't do what I can do to help the city, I don't even belong here.
Well, Doug, let me ask you a question. Is your objection to one of working with Bud or having somebody else work with you, period?
at this point in time, I don't think we need anybody else. Okay? I've got a lot of work orders in, I've got a lot of communication set up, we got timelines and stuff to set up already for different things to happen with the roads. We're waiting on those timelines to elapse. Now, at the end of November, the end of July, 1st of August, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna meet with them, we're gonna review those roads and stuff that they did, and we're gonna see what happens. Now, according to conversations that I've heard that happened, that Eddie Arnold said that they would pay for the tar or the oil, or whatever they usually put it down there.
That's what he told me and the mayor.
Well, I'm sure he didn't thoroughly understand the financial replication of that, okay? Because I talked to Jody after that meeting, and he said that they would not pay for it. They do not have the money to pay for it, that we will have to pay for it. So I don't know if we have the money in there or not. Just looking at the financial stuff, we may have it. I don't know. But it's going to be up to them to commit to have the manpower and the time to come out here and do it. I would love to be able to use up that rock and go ahead and do some of these other roads. The problem is that rock that we got is after traffic has been on, it's turning to powder. And Jody said in his 30-something years, he's never seen that rock do that. That's why he's not going to commit to having anything more done. Jody is the one who will make that call.
Well, that's another issue
Well,
right there.
that's the type of things that he's working on. I know that.
So can I say something?
Sure.
So Sherry, when I worked at the plant for all the years that I worked out there, at one point we had about 10 of us that were retiring. And we were all like retiring stair step within about a 6-month period. And what ExxonMobil chose to do is they didn't put anyone to come alongside of me who had 35 years of experience and go through a little training session for a year long to where that I could impart on them the knowledge that I had. And so they chose to say, we're just going to wait till you retire and then we're going to put someone else in there. Well, that's kind of the same thing here, is that you're saying, well, whenever the election's up, then we're going to put a new guy in there. When I realize, I'm not saying Bud doesn't know anything, but there's some stuff that Doug may know that Bud doesn't know. And what I want to say to you, Doug, is that I realize that the assignment that I have out here is just streetlights, and it's not anything high-tech. But I can tell you that if anybody on this council came to me and said, hey, I'd like to come alongside of you and maybe give you some assistance in what I'm doing, and I'm still over streetlights, but you're going to help me out, why would you not want that? I don't get that.
Well, right now, there's not really anything much that we can do that we don't already have work orders in place for. It's up to them to do the scheduling.
Well, that's going to change, though. There's got to be more things that can get done. And a second person, like I'm looking at the street lights, and this guy may have found a way to do something better or nicer or cheaper. And talk to me about it.
Okay, I'll give you another example of something else that happened too. I was starting to work on, and that's up at the intersection of Sweet Gum and 105. The edge of the road and stuff there around the drive and stuff was washing out. Okay, it needed to be filled in. Got a newsflash for you. That's DOT. That's not precinct 1.
And I get your news flash, but you know what? I'm having to hit those holes every day. And the other part of that was.
I was in the process of doing the work order, and I went up there to get the photos so I could finish up the work order. And you had already went in there and put the same fill in here that DOT has already told me that material is not approved for their work.
Well, so now we're back to communication again. And if Jim, like Jim said, and if you two guys came together and y'all talked, you know, you two guys have been on this council longer than anybody, and you've got a lot of water under the bridge. And I think that this is something that's a personal issue more than it is. In other words, I'm not saying this, but I think if I wanted to work with you on roads, you might would let me. I don't know. So if it's a personal issue, we need to work that out, because this is all, we're all just trying to pull the wagon, everybody.
Matter of fact, Gary, that's a great idea. Why don't you work with Doug on the roads?
Because I don't know what he knows, and I'm leaving.
You're not leaving.
I'm out.
We're going to suck you back in.
What if, and just for a big what if, okay, mine is grass cutting and the parks. That's not really anything.
It absolutely is.
I mean, the grass
Yeah, it's a
cutting,
big deal.
all I do is make sure that they cut the grass, and, which I haven't done efficiently, and I need some help at the park, okay? And I think that's gonna be discussed here shortly, about getting some help, because I'm 67 years old, and I'm just telling you, I'm not gonna go shovel that thing full of whatever it is over there. And I want it to be nice, and I want it to be, you know, what it's supposed to be. But we got to have some help here doing that kind of stuff. Now, if somebody wanted to help me with that, I mean, golly, heck yeah, come on, help me.
I don't
Now,
think anyone
if
wants to
something-
undermine you
If
at all.
something happened to Gary tomorrow, and we didn't have a street light guy,
We'd probably be
okay,
all right.
we might be able to fumble our way through that. And if something happened to me, and we've got a contract with grass cutting guys, so they already know what they're gonna do, as long as we make sure they do it. And then the parks, that'll continue on. Now, if we got right now we have basically one guy over the water, okay? And to me, the water in the sewer, the flushing your toilet and you're turning on your water is the most critical thing that we have out here.
Big to me.
Okay, so if the water don't drain and the water don't come on, I mean, you know, we got a problem, okay? So having one guy over the water is probably not in the best interest of the city of Bevil Oaks, especially if this guy is maybe gonna possibly leave here in November. Somebody should be under his wing, okay? Under that, to be able to understand what goes on down there and the communication and what you need to do and everything that goes on. Now, you on the other hand have roads and drainage, which is communication with the county, and just the county. It's not the county and the precinct and stuff. It's Precinct 1, Jefferson County, is the person that does our roads and our ditches in the front of our houses. Drainage District 6 does all the big ditch work out here, okay? There's only 2 people that we deal with. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't put work orders into DD6.
No, DD6 has been doing a pretty good job.
We call them. If we have something, we call them. And man, I'm telling you, I can call Jason and bam, man. Hey, next day it's done. So the only place that we put work orders in is for the Jefferson County Precinct 1, okay? Now, in answer to your question about, which is way off topic, but that down there, we were able to do that for free. So as far as the hitting the holes down there, I mean, if they got a better idea and they want to come in, they're going to probably rip it out anyway if it's not the approved stuff. Whatever was there, certainly not approved, because it was just big holes. So that's probably not approved. So they're probably going to dig it out and put whatever they want to in there. that material that I put down there didn't cost the city anything because it was leftover from pothole filling. The
We
difference
have to
is,
buy that material.
huh?
We have to buy that
We
material.
do, and you know what happened to the last batch, the batch before? They filled potholes and they hauled it down to precinct 1 and dumped it. And all I did was ask them to dump it out here when they got through. They ordered 6 tons, they dumped it out here when they got through patching potholes.
That's it, there again. You sit there and did something, didn't even let me know about it.
Well, I mean, that was kind of a no-brainer, and I mean, we don't want to give it away, do we? I mean, is that what we wanted, to just buy $700 worth
I'm
and give
going to
it?
reinforce what they said, it's communications. You don't know how to communicate.
Well, I can work on that.
Let's, if so, what if we give him that opportunity, and if he fails at that, we'll revisit this?
Well, all the discussion and stuff that we've had in front of us, or that we've made and stuff, it's not up to us. It's up to this lady right here.
Well, I would like to be considered to do that. I will message you in writing everything that I do, and I'll say that right here publicly. And if that's not good enough, I don't know what could possibly be good enough.
I think the action item on hand is the approval of a backup or a second person involved in those duties. The selection of that person is, as Doug says, up to the mayor.
Why don't we
Well,
table
what
this
we're
for now?
discussing here is
Right,
whether
I was
we're
gonna
gonna
say,
do it or
let's
not.
table that now. Let's Bud, me, and Doug sit down and have a meeting. So
Well,
we
there's
can all
something-
communicate.
There's some things that I would like to, and I talked to Doug at the office the other day. I told him, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I think Heather was there, or Sabrina, one of them. Anyway, and I told him, I said, man, I got no problem with telling you exactly what I'm wanting to do, or if I want to go to a meeting. Me and Barbara, his wife, went to the Jefferson County Precinct
I've
1
gone
meetings,
too.
okay? We went. We didn't ask Doug. Doug was over the roads. I mean, I don't
I
know,
knew about
maybe
it
she
before you
had.
went.
Well, but that's because y'all live together. But, I mean, but she asked me to go with you. Did she tell you she asked me to go with her?
Well, you, at the time, you were the mayor pro tem also.
Well, it doesn't matter about, Mayor Pro Tem doesn't do anything but just call the meetings to order if
Oh, Yeah,
the mayor doesn't show up.
You're wrong there.
Well, I never felt that power, but maybe there is some, but I was Mayor Pro Tem long enough. But I'm just saying, I mean, if
Well, my suggestion is, let's table this. The 3 of us sit down in the office, and let's go over everything that we need to do. So, I mean, because if you're.
well, he
gonna be
works every
involved-
day from 8
I'm
to
off
5.
the week of the 4th.
Week of the 4th, yeah. So that way too, I mean, maybe he can teach me about codes. I mean, I need to get involved with a lot of the stuff that you guys do because I'm still learning. So it's like maybe the 3 of us can work together. So let's sit down and talk this out and see exactly what we can do to make it a lot better.
Well, I'm gonna put it on my time frame now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I just wanna say that I will go for that, and we will discuss that. And if I'm not gonna be able to help this city with the roads and drainage out here, then I'll have to make a decision on my own about that at that time,
Okay.
okay? Fair enough? But
Fair enough.
I'm gonna hold y'all to that meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm holding
Doug,
y'all to that meeting.
text me when you're available that particular time. I'll text him, and then we'll sit down and we'll meet at the office.
I'll make myself available.
Okay. Can I have a motion to table this until the 3 of us have a discussion?
Well, we're not allowed to vote, what I'm understanding from Judge, this isn't anything we're gonna
Well,
vote
I
on
mean,
anyway.
it's not, but it's considered an action item on the agenda, so I'm just trying to follow it.
Okay, well, we
So,
pleaded our
I
cases.
just- Okay, so we're gonna
Yeah, I
table
don't
this
know
item.
why that needs to,
Okay.
you know.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to skip our next, to go ahead and talk
Okay,
to
yeah,
Dante,
that's fine.
and then we'll come back to your.
Wait a minute, can I ask one more question? Will that be, when we have our meeting, okay, will there be a
I'll make
decision
a
made?
decision. Yes,
Okay, that's all I need.
yes, and I'm putting it on the record, so yes.
Okay.
Dante, your turn.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay, no worries.
No,
We-
man,
we
you
don't
can't
want
talk now, you used up
We
your
don't
time.
want you to get a ticket.
Yeah, I didn't want to get pulled over. But we made the news this week. Bevil made the news.
Again.
Y'all obviously saw the search warrant that we ran out here. And I like to inform all y'all when we do stuff like that. I would like to tell y'all before, but I didn't really want to mess things up along those lines. But
What did we do?
The
Yep,
travel agent.
the travel agent.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
At least Terry Rose didn't live in Bevil Oaks.
yeah, big
I
one.
knew him.
Yes. Well, but with that being said, hopefully, we resolved it from our end. We are stopping speeders out here. I don't know if you guys realize.
Mr. Reggie, he had a complaint, yes.
Yes. See our guys out here, that's part of, we ran an operation out here last year and the guys has been doing better since then. If y'all see that to lack up, just give me a call and say, hey, your guys is kind of lacking up on that. And,
We just had Moss Hill.
Moss Hill.
Add Moss Hill to
okay.
one of the watches, because one of our citizens, Reggie, said that there's some repeat offenders up and down Moss
And
Hill.
and the same thing I just told the other city, if y'all know there's certain individuals, if y'all give me a name and address, I will go to their house and have a conversation with you.
What told you?
Face to face.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Because I think that's fair to let a person know, hey, we about to get you.
That works.
And it works, so.
Moss Hill is a road that if you follow Waze or GPS, if you come in this way and you're going back that way, that's the shortcut.
Yes.
It'll
Yeah.
take you across there, so there's more traffic there.
So
Most traffic.
What you said works.
Yes.
They've done it before. We've had them knock on a couple of people's doors because people kept, and this one truck just flew down Sweet Gum, went home, fly down Sweet Gum, go home.
And they
People
get
found it.
coming and it gets used to, and people get off at a certain time and they're trying to get home, and we all are good neighbors, and we're willing to work with you guys and do with that. As far as the sheriff's office, right now we don't have any complaints about Bevil Oaks. No one is doing anything bad. But just to get you guys on storm mindset, I know last time y'all had water rise up and went over the road. As far as barricades and people coming across barricades, the state law don't even require require any citizens to direct someone across a barricade. You have to be a peace officer to direct someone into a barricade area. So y'all be mindful with that when y'all putting up barricades, because no one has the right, other than the law enforcement or firemen, to say, hey, you can come on and drive through here. If it's anybody other than that first responder that's doing that, then that person's really not that person is in violation with the person that told them that they can go by. So y'all be mindful of that when that goes up.
What about a resident that could live between the barricades?
They can actually, respond down to the residents and everything as there. They can proceed to that because we can't keep them from their homes if it's not of a state of emergency.
But it would be okay then for them to go around the
Yes,
barricade.
they can go down there. But if you got some people just driving in from Beaumont and say, hey, let's go look at Bevil Oaks, they go around the barricades and pushing water to people's homes, we can do something. Or four-wheelers or anything like that if they start to push water.
But that's up to the sheriff's department. That's not up to individuals that live out here.
Right. Now, the individuals can contact the sheriff's office, and we will come and investigate it, and if we find that they've done it, we're still going to report it to the DA's office. If we find a suspect and a complainant, the case will be sent to the DA's office, and the DA's office is going to make the determination whether or not they're going to take charges or not. But we will write it up if we find a blatant suspect and a valid complaint on that. Very good.
We had a couple the last time the river flooded.
And so what we done, we wrote that case up, sent it to the DA's office, and let them make their decision based off what we submitted. Very good. And like I said, everyone in here has my number, I think. If y'all don't, y'all should. But if y'all need us for anything, like I said, the sheriff's office is here. We're not going anywhere, and we just, always work with everyone. I mean, Mr. Doug will call me at night if he needs something. Jeff will call me Sunday morning or tell me Sunday morning. But and Mr. Bud has been well, and Sherry's well too, and not to forget Spring. But but we love the working relationship we have with you guys. Just know, holiday July the 4th is always a coming holiday where you see a lot of four-wheelers on the road and going around the neighborhoods. So if y'all see an uptick in that, please call me so I can put an uptick of patrolman in this area during those peak times.
Not to interrupt, but Jeff, have we already reached out to Jefferson County about leading the parade for the 4th of July?
No, we were gonna use the fire department as we always have.
Yeah, we normally send a car out to do
If we are having a parade on the 4th,
just send me the dates, the times and everything which I got going, and we'll be out here.
Y'all usually have a car standing by.
Yeah, we come get involved with the parade. I actually done it 2 years ago. And I might be in town this year, so if I'm in town, I'll do it myself. So.
Good deal. It's a privilege.
And if y'all have anything for us, just let me know. Give me a call. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Good
Dante.
good work out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Stay safe out there.
Yes, sir.
All right, up for consideration, discussion, and approval is appointing a city council member to be the ordinance enforcement officer. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Start down at this end then. Gary?
Can I do the presentation?
I don't,
Oh, let's.
Yeah,
let's
this was
have-
actually his
Let's have
agenda
Doug
item.
make a presentation
I'm
on
gonna do a
this.
presentation on this one, okay?
Okay.
Because I can bring everybody kind of up to speed of what we're looking at, okay? In the past, we've had a code enforcement person, okay? Code enforcement is normally somebody who will enforce state codes or building codes or something like that. They generally do not enforce city ordinances unless they're paid extra to do that. People like the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department will not enforce a city ordinance, okay? So I've done some research, and as a matter of fact, I even talked to Drew about this today. And looking at what TML suggests is actually doing a ordinance enforcement officer. This officer's responsibilities would be very limited, okay? It's only city ordinances. It is not state codes or anything like that, okay? Where code enforcement person has to have special training, ordinance person, the only thing, the training they need is to make sure they understand the ordinance fully, okay? This can be a city council person, or if we decide that we may want to hire or take a volunteer for somebody that wants to do it, we can do that, okay? So this is something we need. Now, we've had people going out doing ordinance enforcement and stuff already. Been doing it for years on the signs, okay? Because I was asked to do it, and I did it. Recently, we had the ordinance enforcement and stuff as far as the abandoned homes and stuff, and the yards growing up and stuff. That is an ordinance. It's a city ordinance. That would be the responsibility this person would have, okay? And it's, like I said, we've already had legal look at this and everything, and they thought it was an excellent idea, okay? So we can move forward with enforcing our ordinances, not state. The ones I have listed here are some of the ones that is around the keeping the yards clean, keeping junk cars out. I've seen people setting trash out there along the side of the roads and stuff. There's some out there right now. It's been out there so long, weeds and stuff are growing up around it. Okay? That is an ordinance that we have here. It's not the city's responsibility to take care of this. A lot of people move out here, and I've stopped and talked to them, that thinks that we're like Beaumont. Somebody's going to pick this stuff up. We don't. I think every one of us knows that. Okay? So this person would actually be kind of responsible for the communications of relaying these ordinances and stuff and to the people that need to be known. Okay? So, I mean, I put a lot of time in on this, trying to do some research and everything on this. Like I said, and even on here, this is some of the ordinance and stuff. They're basically all around the same thing, around keeping the yards and the city clean. Basically what it is. That's what we want to do. That's what we need to do. So And I think it's real important right now because we're getting a lot of new folks and stuff in here that don't understand that. Okay? A lot of times, if you just let them know, hey, this is the ordinance and stuff here, okay? Just like we did with, like Jeff did with the, you know, putting in the signs and stuff out for people mowing yards. Everybody, I've seen all the comments and stuff about how many people now are getting out there and making sure their yards and stuff are getting clean and look good. So I think this position is something that would be very beneficial for the whole community. Okay, that's what I want to talk about.
I tried to read this TML document you got here, and it got really confusing to me kind of fast as to what's what. But what you're calling in the name that I wrote down is an ordinance enforcement officer.
Correct.
Okay, now, what is required of that person with respect to training, certification?
Reading and understanding the ordinance.
Okay,
It's not there's not a state training or anything like that.
okay, so what authority does he have in enforcing the ordinances?
That's going to be up to us to decide. Because this is a brand-new position. We're going to have to turn around and lay out the procedures and everything on that. Okay? So I would assume that we would set it up first, that you would do a notification, kind of like we've done before already. And I think there is a procedure even on that, on what you have to do. We can follow that procedure.
Okay, with that, Jeff can probably elaborate more on the details of that, but that procedure can eventually lead to filing a lien against property at some point way down the road.
That's right.
All right, now, if we're, I mean, I think the city needs something along these lines. If it doesn't have any teeth, you know, I don't know whether it's any good or not.
Well,
And
that's,
it may be the primary focus of this would be more of a communication of standards. If you, the guy that's got the brush piled up thinking they're gonna pick it up like the city of Beaumont, and he's gonna get a citation or whatever our new guy's gonna issue, right? There's not a fine accompanied with that, there's not, you know, a court date or anything else. What we're gonna do is go out and say that is in violation. We do not have city pickup here. You have to take care of your own debris. You can burn it here, or you can pay somebody to haul it off. And I appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much.
okay.
Two different
And-
schools of thought. What Beaumont does is send out a letter once a year. That's just a blanket letter. What I think Ally used to do was send out a warning letter with pictures, which I think would probably be a better steps, if it's like
Yeah.
brush and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of me. I'm just trying to understand the concept of what this position would be. It would be, I mean, a lot of times people don't know,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
or they know and they're just think they can get away with it, and when you call them out on it, they'll go clean it up. But then at some point, if they don't clean it up, what kind of teeth do you have? Say, you gotta clean it up. or-
Jim, what about mailing out a copy of the ordinance to everybody in the city, especially new people?
All right, everybody gonna read that? I don't read
Yeah,
it.
that goes right in the
I mean,
pile
it's-
with
Yeah,
vote for
How do
me.
you
Yeah.
educate them though?
So it is an
I
educational
mean,
process.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm thinking that's probably not a bad thing to do. At least it's step one to get where we do, but it's also got to be meshed with what we've already got going on, because what we've already got going on is getting results, and it's got a little more teeth in it than this. Now, it's been blessed by our legal people, I assume.
Oh, yeah. He thought it was an excellent idea. Because he's actually looked in it.
So what would you, what about, we don't have a dog ordinance, but say we had a dog ordinance, no loose dogs. Jeff's got a loose dog. You gonna tell Jeff to put his dog up? I mean, you're not gonna impound it or shoot it or anything. I mean, you wouldn't. Dante wouldn't.
If we can identify the owner, just like.
No, that's hypothetical. I'm
Okay.
just-
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
just
have a
throwing it
dog
out.
ordinance.
Yeah.
We looked at that before, and the cost of even putting an ordinance like that in place is astronomical.
No,
We couldn't do it.
forget, I'm sorry I brought it
Yeah,
up.
don't
I'm just
start
trying to
it, Paul.
understand.
Don't bring up the dogs, Jim.
No.
Yeah.
That's another,
I'm actually trying to support what you're doing. But when I started reading all this document that you attached to this, I got real confused as to what some of this is, because the first paragraph talks about code enforcement officer, and they have to have a year's worth of experience, and that's not what we're trying to do.
That's right.
But I don't see what you're describing anywhere on this sheet of paper.
Under that third question, what non-citation enforcement options are available? This is what we were doing, apparently, for the abandoned homes. Non-citation, they were alerted as to what the violation was, or that there was a violation. Call the city office for more information, and you need to respond by the 15th. And when they called the office, then the violations were shared with whoever decided to call. And as long as something is being done about it, 100% of everything that we put out has not been corrected, but a lot of it has. And it
Heather's
looks great.
volunteering to do this position.
Who?
Heather,
No, I'm raising my hand.
you're volunteering.
No, I'm raising my hand.
I don't see a problem with everybody on council having this authority because we're upholding the ordinances of the city as part of our oath.
Absolutely.
So I think any of us can do this.
Well, I think what this proposal is, that there's somebody that's got a nominal by their name, that they ride around once a month or once a week and look in yards and do stuff,
Or if another citizen files a complaint that my neighbor is a pig.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think if you want to have this, you need to be proactive with it.
Yeah.
And
Heather has something.
My whole thing is as this process has taken off with the vacant homes that we've been doing, okay, for somebody that it's my thing, okay, it's what I do. They're the person that goes and does the violation notices on the property, which the cab team did. Some pictures didn't get to me. I had people calling about violations. It was like, it's all a learning curve for all of us, okay? And I get that, but like, there's some people, if we'd have sent out a letter first and then done the stake after the 15 days, it would have probably gone a little smoother. I have to know what the violations are when they call me, because they're like, hey, I got this letter, I need to know what this is, it came certified mail, and I'm looking through the folder and I'm going, I don't even have any pictures for you. I said, but I will call you back and let you know as soon as I know. And then the person that puts the violation on there, their eyes are gonna be different than the person that's clearing it.
Exactly.
So those two people are gonna have to get on the same page in order to do this properly. Because if it's one person going out there and putting the violation up, and then another person goes, oh, well, that ain't that bad, I'll just, you're good. It can't go like that.
Sure.
But I can say.
It's
that
got to
Joey
be
did one
The
heck of a
person
job.
that does
He did a great
the
job.
violation notice needs to be the person that clears it, or they need to know what's in the loop and what's going on. Because that's a lot of what I'm getting backlash, because, oh, well, they said it was, that if I did this, it was clear, or if we do this, this, and this, it's cleared. Well, who's gonna clear it? Am I gonna clear it? Because they called me and they said, I've mowed and I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. Well, I don't know. I'll have to send somebody over there.
And that's when you
Clear
need
it.
to send the ordinance enforcement officer.
Yes,
over
and
there.
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
whoever's
this
doing
looks good,
that
but
is
you
gonna
need
have
to
to do
get rid of
that.
that dead tree.
It's a madhouse right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
there's just a lot of, we want to be adamant and certain about what we're doing so that we don't look foolish. You understand what I'm saying? Because when people call and ask questions, I don't want to look foolish and go, oh, well, we did this, but I don't know, I can't tell you anything. It's a learning curve, but I think we can work on it and tweak it to where it would be a very good thing for the city.
Well, I think that's why Doug is proposing this, because it is overwhelming. but we've accomplished quite a bit by doing it.
And to have one person to say, look,
Consistent.
this person will contact you. And that person is, I think, who Doug wants to
Yes.
name or to identify. And it doesn't have to be one person. It could be two.
But she was talking about apples, and now you're talking about oranges.
Why's that?
She was talking about the cab people putting the signs up, and if they're going out there and noticing the violation, then, I don't know if you got that or not, but they should be the ones that go out and clear the property, because I may not see the same thing that they see, right? I mean, I might not see that. They might have only been interested in that lawnmower over there, and then, you know.
Oh, I heard what she said. I picked it up. I'm not
I mean,
quite
I
that
wasn't,
slow.
I'm not.
I'm not trying to
I'm not
say you're
taking
slow.
anything away from the people that have gone out and done this. All I'm
We had a
saying
list
is,
that we were working on.
yeah, they had a list that I pretty much gave them, but I didn't know what the violations were on the properties
Yeah,
when
I-
they went out. They would go see the vacant home, they would write down, and sometimes on some of them, I didn't have the pictures, so I was
Right.
like, okay, I don't
That's
know.
fine. I get it.
But like Sherry, you know, she went by and saw Joey's and she cleared it, you know, because she went and saw that the stuff had been done. But you came to me and you asked me, okay, here's what, and so I showed you the pictures and we went over it, and then I told you the things that were on the list and what needed to be changed. So all I'm saying is the person that puts the violation in the yard, or two people, person that does it and clears it, ought to be in cahoots and good communication and understand what's going on, because,
That's right.
yeah,
Okay, back to the-
it's too
back to the
confusing not to
point
be.
of Order here.
Okay.
The item for discussion is one of appointing council member to be a ordinance enforcement officer. I believe that's the title of it.
So basically, Jim's saying, do we have any more discussion?
Would the cab team be up for something like that?
I wouldn't.
I mean, more
think so.
eyes?
We could ask, not for sure we would. But that would really spread it out to have more points of view, if you would.
That's my point.
Yeah,
Well,
there's nothing wrong with it, but it still needs to come to a point. You know,
that's where I'm trying to go. We need somebody to head it,
Right.
to say this is yes, this is no. And when there's a violation, sure, the cab team can go out and be the legs so that one person doesn't go out and do 40 homes at one time. But there's got to be somebody to report back to. When we were given the list, I don't know if Sherry came up with a list or the girls in the office came up with a list. We didn't know. We were given a list. We went and posted it where the list said. That's all we did. So it would have been great to have had a little more detail on that. And to your point, we're a bunch of ants. We'll do whatever we need to do happily, but it needs to go back to one or two people that can make that decision.
Who's over cab? Is there someone that is over it?
Jeff?
Jeff,
Jeff is.
Yeah, that would be me.
so there's your guy. There's the guy.
Well, I don't know that's not all CAP does. Yeah, I mean.
It's a citizens
The
advisory
question
board.
is, do we want to have somebody that has that by their name, and the mayor can appoint that person like she's gonna do the others?
Yes,
So
that's
to
what
me,
it
it's
needs to
time to
be.
vote.
That's what it needs to be. You have one person that's over it. Now, he can have as many worker bees as he wants to, but that one person would be the one that would be responsible for it.
Well, it sounds like, Doug, that you're the one that's bringing it up and you're the one that's wanting to do it.
I didn't necessarily say I wanted to do it.
I didn't say you said it, but I mean, this is your baby. I mean, I'm all for it. I'll give you 100% go ahead with me as far as you being over that.
Well, I mean, part of the reason that he's bringing this is because it's a learning curve of what we did with the violations for the abandoned homes.
Well, the
You know, if we have
violations for
something
the
on the
abandoned
books-
homes, the city of Beaumont sends out a registered letter first before they go and put notices on houses.
But they're
That's
also,
just
they're
the
a
way they
home
do it.
rule city, we are a municipality, we have different things that we have to follow. So this is why he's bringing this to the discussion, so we actually have it on the books of what we're actually gonna do. I mean, I
So
use
at this
Beaumont-
point, it's a call to vote.
You call the vote, yeah.
Call the
That's-
vote.
That's a great idea.
Okay, well, let me tell you part of the reason why I brought this up, and I started doing an investigation on what we could do, okay? And I read Facebook, okay? There's been all kinds of posts and stuff out there on Facebook and says, people are saying, we have all these ordinances out here and we don't enforce them.
I used to call them unenforceable ordinances,
Well, there you go. We're making them enforceable.
and we'd make another one, and it was unenforceable. And
So
we'd make
that's,
another
we're covering that.
Call to
Because-
vote.
Okay, so okay, everybody talked, I didn't talk.
I was just,
Okay, now this thing you brought up here is dated September of 2018. So that's going on 6 years ago.
it's the most
What is
current
that?
information,
Is that the most current
It
thing
is.
that there is out there?
because I've pulled it up too.
Okay.
So really, the only section-
Okay, now down here it says who may file a complaint in municipal court.
We used to
Okay.
use Judge Dollinger for our municipal court at one
He's
time.
retired.
Right. But we have the ability to be the municipal court if we need to be. We can do that, so we don't have to go out and use Ben Collins, for example.
Okay, well, this is one instance I ran by with Drew. Drew can tell you. But is because of a pond out here, I had one of like 35 ponds out here, and I dug it, and then I was in trouble. Okay, so I wanted to go to the Jefferson County Court, and all I have to do legally is put up a $500 bond, and then we go to Jefferson County Court. We don't come to anything Bevel Oaks has. We go to the county court, because the county is our law enforcement agency blanket out here, okay, or in Jefferson County. I mean, but they're over the Beaumont Police Department. They're way up here. So if somebody wants to go to court, then they could go to Jefferson County to court.
And I've talked to Ben Collins about possibly using his court if we need to.
We don't have enough ducks for one pond.
But anyway, let's
that-
go ahead and bring it to a vote. I mean, ducks and ponds.
What are we voting on?
Whether or not we're going
have a
to
code
approve
enforcement officer.
having a city council member to be the ordinance enforcement officer.
Well, wouldn't we
Can I
have to
have a
appoint
motion?
somebody to approve it? No.
That'll be heard.
No, but this is just approving the position.
Oh, she's
Approving the
gonna appoint.
position. I'm not appointing anybody right now. So can I have a motion to approve appointing someone to be the
Oh, we
enforcement
already done
officer? I mean,
I'll make that motion.
it. I second.
okay. Let's see, all in favor? Any opposed?
I'm just gonna say that I think we probably need some more information before I could vote on that, as far as what's legal and what's not legal.
Well,
Ayes
this
have
is
it.
not voting on the enforcement.
It's
This is
just appointing.
on the position.
Yeah, I would expect that person periodically to come back and
Right.
tell us what he's done and what he's.
The
what
supporting
ground rules he's
documents, all these ordinances that are supporting documents,
These are just examples.
I know they're examples, but they're irrelevant, because all the last one supersedes all those. So actually, the only one you go by is this one, the last one we approved, right?
Correct.
Because all these other ones are talking about marshals. and
These are
they're
the ones that
talking
are on
about-
record.
Huh?
These are the ones that are on the books right now.
Well, I know, but they're talking about marshals and inspection stickers.
It goes from 2 to 77 to 84 to 115 to 192. It's just, it's continuation.
All right.
But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Up for consideration, discussion, and approval. He's abstaining, everybody else voted yes. Up for consideration, discussion, and approval of the revised employee handbook. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
A second.
Any discussion?
Here again, I got discussion.
Go ahead, Bud, start.
Okay, let me get past that one. Okay, up here it says on page, there's no page numbers in here. When you get to regular versus temporary, it's at the top of the page. It says full-time employees work a regular schedule on a full-time basis. To be considered a full-time employee, they must work at least 40 hours a week, okay? And that, according to the IRS, in their database, it's 32.5 hours a week. And then according to another company's employee relations, it's 36 hours a week. And then there's some discussion out there about, there's some differences about whether it should be 40 hours a week or not to be considered a full-time employee, is all I'm saying. I mean, this verbiage right here probably needs to be looked at.
And it has been. It's been reviewed by Drew, and for the city employees, they're going to be considered full-time at 40 hours.
So this is
40
a
hours.
city rule, this isn't a, this
City
isn't
rule.
a,
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't go like, it's not a federal mandated to where you, can say 36 is, full-time or 40. It's not a federal thing. I think it goes by state, with that.
I just
City
by the
government.
For
IRS.
this city government,
Okay,
Are
so
you saying if you don't work 40 hours, you're not considered?
you will always work more than 40 hours. It's in your contract.
yeah, there's
I
no,
just made
there's
one
no
up.
contract. So I mean, so if they drop below 40 hours a week, then they'll go to
No,
part-time?
they have comp time, they have sick time. They're going to still be considered full-time.
Well, maybe this does need to be looked at, though, if we have that much fluctuation. Do y'all always get 40 hours?
And then some, absolutely.
When was the last time this handbook was updated?
Four or 5 years. 2020. This is why we're-
2021.
This is
Okay.
why we're doing this.
I just don't want something that, well, what if one of them gets sick and doesn't have sick time? You just said they have sick time, comp time, they have, but, you know, you can get sick and be off for 2 months.
Well, we're talking a
That
difference
just-
of
that
4
just-
hours
as
here,
an
so
employee-
if you
as an
said
employee-
36 to 40.
And correct me if I'm wrong, as an employee, anybody that's employed at a place, just because like, last week I called in and I didn't have any more vacation or sick time, or I didn't want to use it, and my hours for last week was 32.65, that, I'm still a full-time employee. So just, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 occurrences doesn't make you, because you fall under that 40 threshold.
I'm hearing
doesn't-
what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was
I'm-
just, you know, just
And
trying to
I'm not
make a
even
point.
doubting what you're saying. I
Yeah,
don't
I was just-
understand how that happens at a plant, because ours is.
You know, I
got
think,
paid.
I think the key here is it says the full-time employee's work schedule. You were scheduled for 40 hours, but you didn't work, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kinda like you, but I thought that minimum was like 32 hours, but I've been out of the workforce a couple of years, so.
I mean, I did what I could do to check, so that's all
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
saying. I just don't want anybody to get, backbit by something that
And that
No.
is something we can look into.
maybe we're not.
I think it's because it's how it's worded, because it says
Must.
it
Must.
The
work
must is
at
getting it,
least
yeah.
40 hours.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
something
is
we
there
can
just some
look into.
verbiage there that needs to be, I'm asking y'all.
Yeah, that's
Wordsmithing.
something we can look into.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
and I think that's the reason for the revision of the handbook, to catch things like that. I mean, to make sure it doesn't come back and bite us.
I mean,
in
that's
the
why I
butt.
read it.
Change it
was
to
to-
should. Should.
Should, scheduled, offered.
I mean, it'd be totally different, like, say, for example, I go in there and I change their hours, and they're only gonna work 30 hours, then they become part-time.
I
Right
would
now,
find
their
out what the
schedule is 40
IRS requirement regulations say.
It is right here. It's IRS says 130 a month or 30 hours a
That's
week.
federal.
Or 30 or 130 a month. You can go by either one of those, but you have, during that, you're gonna have to work a 40 and 3 30s to make 130. Okay, so I mean,
That is the minimum, though, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then,
to be a
we should
full-time
take that
employee.
standard and reciprocate.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's, you know,
Well,
there's
it's-
so many things out there, I don't know. There's.
It still boils down to what your schedule is. I mean, if you're scheduled to work 30 hours a week for the next 6 months, you're part-time.
Well, I'm
If
just
you're
saying,
scheduled to work 40,
if we
but
took-
don't work but 30.
If we,
Go
if,
ahead.
if we took Heather and we moved her to working Monday to, you know, cut her down to 30, 39 hours a week, according to this right here, okay? Heather would lose her full-time benefits, according to this right here.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Well, let me tell you how mine works, okay? Mine works is I have to work 40 hours a week, okay? So what happens is, if I go through and I work 3 days, and I work 10-hour days, and I take off one of those, the next day, I'm not working my 40 hours.
Well, that counts as mature
So I don't get my overtime.
Here's schedule.
According to the Texas Workforce Commission, full-time employees are those who are regularly assigned to work at least 40 hours each week. That's according to the Texas
What's part-time?
Workforce Commission.
I think 28 is part-time.
Less than those 40.
Yeah, less than 40.
That's what it's quoted as, less than those 40.
Well, that's where this came from, then.
Yeah, not from the IRS.
Well, so you're staying scheduled though, Lonnie, right?
But then, yeah,
You're probably gonna be able to read some more stuff.
yeah. And it fluctuates.
We'll get our hours in because council meetings run long. and we're-
Exactly, you're gonna get
How
overtime
does
no
it
matter
fluctuate?
what.
We'll be able
You
to-
make
I
it
like
up
the way you
one
put
day
it,
a
the
month, you make it
minimum
up.
Yeah.
average is 130 or whatever that said, you know, for the month. I like that.
That's what it says on there. I mean, that's all I can say. I
But
mean,
you have to
a lot of
remember,
this Texas workforce stuff, you're gonna get into a lot of other stuff here. If it
I would
goes
find
far.
whatever
Yeah.
the legal stuff is, and if that's what we go by, then, leave it at that. We know what you're not gonna take a full-time employee and knock them down without doing it intentionally,
Without doing what?
doing it purposefully. I'm not gonna change I'm not gonna change Sabrina from a full-time to a part-time
We
without
couldn't afford to, Jim.
changing her
She's got
hours
too
and
much work
discussing
today.
it with her. It'll be a willful move. If she just, if she doesn't show up,
Yeah, I just don't wanna have it written down where it changes it, you know what I mean?
well, I've never
I mean,
heard
they've been
that.
working
I've worked a lot
without
of
a
places-
valid
well, I've worked a lot of, but I've
employee
worked in
handbook
places
for
where
too long.
that's in effect, and
Y'all aren't gonna be mayor and council forever.
Exactly, that's why we need this. Any more discussion?
Okay,
I'm
and
not worried
then
about
it
that
says, right under that, it says hiring, probationary period. Each newly hired employee will be subject to a 90-day probationary period. At the end of such a period, upon evaluation of the mayor, the employee may be terminated without further question. And my point is, on that one is that the city council should be involved in that.
who,
But the mayor
they
takes
report to
care,
her.
the mayor takes care of day-to-day operations, and one of the day-to-day operations is hiring employees. We've had this discussion numerous times.
And Drew explained that the
Numerous
city
times.
council does have,
To make them full-time, yes, to make them full-time, but not to actually do the initial hiring.
okay. I mean, I'm standing corrected, I've just got questions.
That's okay, bud.
So now, if you go to the very next page, it says whistleblower, 2.5 is whistleblower. And the reporting procedure is, the city encourages their employees to share questions, concerns, blah-de-da-de-da-de-da, including blank, who has the responsibility to investigate the claim of all such complaints. Blank is required to report
Yes.
to complaints. I mean, shouldn't there be a name in that?
But the problem is council and mayor change, that's why it's blanket this time.
well, can you put a position in there?
Can you put
We
a
can
council
put a
and mayor or
position.
something?
Yeah, we can put a position, but not necessarily a name.
I mean, because,
I highlighted that
Because it was
no
blank.
name and it says board of directors.
Absolutely.
It's just the verbiage.
Right, we need to fill in the blank there.
just
take
fill a
out
blank
board
in, it
of
doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
It wouldn't be like Jeff, it'd be councilman, you know what I mean? Or whatever,
Absolutely.
or mayor, or whatever it is. Whatever it is, it is. Okay, the next
Next
page
page.
says
PTO.
paid sick leave, okay? It seems like it would be to our advantage as a city to change that to paid time off.
Correct.
Simply because that way, if one of them's kids gets sick, they don't have to call in sick, because they gotta take their kid to Houston to the hospital or whatever.
Yeah, and it's not that they're sick, it's just paid time
Time.
It's
off.
paid time off, and then when they
That's
run
the way
out
we
of
always
paid
did it.
time off, well, then they don't get sick pay.
Change the
Right.
title.
They
So-
don't get paid time off.
So if we change it to paid time off, then it's paid time off either way you look at it.
Either way you
but it's
look at
just-
it.
It's just a, okay.
Are y'all
You-
changing that?
Just change the title. Yeah.
Change it to paid time off. Okay, now, election days, vacations, holidays, all that stuff. It says Full-time employees are entitled to vacation with pay according to the following schedule. After the first full year of employment, after you work 12 full months, you're eligible for 5 days of paid vacation. After the second full year of employment, you're eligible for 10 days of paid vacation. I would like to see that follow the line of where I've worked, and it be after the first 12 months that you complete 12 full months of work. During that next year, you're eligible for 2 weeks of vacation. And that will go, and then, all it does is take that second line out. It makes the first line say 10, and it takes the second line out, and then it makes the third line will be in effect after 5 full years of employment, 15 working days. That's the same way where I've worked has been. And
But you're saying,
Changing the
if I'm
budget.
understanding, you're saying that after 2 years, they'll still just get 1 week of vacation?
no, they'll get 2. I'm saying after one full year, instead of getting 1 week, give them 2, and then 2 until 5 years, and then you get 3.
Correct,
And then-
that's correct in a sense. And I don't know where you worked at, but where I worked at, we actually started off as a new employee with 2 weeks of vacation.
That's right.
We
After
started
you-
off,
after
no,
you-
after
Oh, wow.
probation, after probation, we started with 2 weeks of.
Okay, well, we're old school.
Yeah, we had
And
to work
so,
a year.
and so in a business sense, on the back end, say for instance, one of them quit, leave, or get fired, you won't have to come off, they'll be in the hole as far as owing us, because we've actually granted them with vacation on the front end.
On the front, yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not granting it to them on the front end. I'm
But
saying you got to
that's-
work a year.
I think that's universal though.
So you're basically just getting an extra week after 1 year?
After a year, 2 weeks doesn't seem like too much
But then
vacation.
we've got an employee who's been here for 5 years that didn't get 2 weeks until you
After
actually
5
worked
years, you
5
get-
years.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
After
Yeah.
5 years, you get 3, I know where I work, you
Yeah.
get 3 weeks. And then,
Exactly.
yeah,
Well,
and
she
then
just-
10
Oh, you
years-
just
10
hit it?
10 years, you get
Or she-
like a whole month.
No, I just hit 5 years.
She just said
Would
5
you
years, but she
forgive us
doesn't have a-
if Heather got an
No.
extra week's vacation?
I wouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, that's just, I read that and I said, well,
Yeah.
that just
This-
kind of
this
rang a
is
bell.
Spilt milk
with
at
me.
this point.
But 5, 10, 15, 20, this is already budgeted.
So, I mean, is there anything wrong with doing it that way? Is there, I mean, like working 1 year and then after you complete 12 months, you get 2 weeks of vacation up till 5 years, and then you get 3 weeks of vacation. But you have to complete the first year. The way, Lonnie, when you said yours, no, I don't agree with that, because
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
sucker go work, 90 days, and then he's gonna take off, 2 weeks vacation, then he gonna quit.
Day one of Beaumont Fire Department, I had 6 weeks.
Huh?
Day one of Beaumont Fire Department, I had 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, you're on 24 off 48.
Day one, I had 6 weeks.
Well, day one,
and that's why-
you had 3/4 of the year.
And that's why I said, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it in a business sense. I mean, and I understand what you're
Why don't
saying.
we ask the
Sorry.
employees, what would they like? This is
Yeah,
your
I'm all
handbook.
for it.
What- no, not
You
you.
can do whatever now, I'm already at 5.
I'm like, she's at 5.
So it don't make crap what you do before that.
I'm all for it.
I just think I just think 1 week in a year is not, after you work a whole year. I
Is
think
this something the
1 week-
council needs to vote on?
Yeah, to make
Y'all
this
are
change.
Y'all are voting on.
We're voting on the
handbooks.
the
So
entire
if you need
handbook.
to change that, then we need
If
to
we change it, then we change it.
I would
I'd
check,
take a vote. I mean,
well, I would also check with the bookkeeper to see if our budget needs to be changed also.
Well, how's that gonna affect the budget?
Because we're gonna end up paying them more.
Why? We're paying them whether
we
they're
do
there or not.
Yeah.
It changes no pay. I mean, we're paying them
Well, I'm okay as
52
long
weeks
as,
a year.
I'm okay as long as she brings her daughter to sweep when she's here.
And she did. So
And
there you go.
that was a bonus right there.
Make up for that lost time.
okay,
Good
so we'll
job,
do
Adam.
this to a 10.
I need to know what y'all are changing, so.
Changing after the first, this is what I'm gonna make a motion to do. Can I do that?
We're not making
No.
motions, we're just.
Okay,
making
well, I'm just gonna
recommendations.
then say, after the first full year of employment, you get 10 days, working days of paid vacation.
Non-consecutive 10 days.
Huh?
Non-consecutive.
What?
Why
What?
not
What if I
consecutive?
wanna go to Ireland or something?
No.
You said
You
9.
won't come back.
Oh, okay.
You're probably right, it's a 2-day over there and a
different
2-day back though,
percent.
why? So you
10
have
10
to
days
do it
is
like
fine.
that.
So you're saying raise it
That's
up to
what this
10
was
days
saying.
for the first year?
The first year, go to 10
After-
days. After you work a whole year, you gotta work a whole year before you get 10 days, which is the same thing you're gonna get after the second year anyway. But everywhere I've ever worked, you work, we had to work a year, not like Lonnie's is, because I wouldn't wanna do that if I was an employer. But, because I get burned on that every time. So, but if you work a whole year, you get 2 weeks of vacation. And then first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Fifth year, you'll get 3 weeks of vacation. So it's only taking out the second line right there. And it's gonna be the same amount of money. It's just the amount of time that the
So
person
in
gets
their
off.
third year, they don't get a vacation?
No, we get an extra week.
You get an
No,
extra
they get the
week.
same, they get the
It's
same,
the same pay
you
for
get
the
the
first
same
5
amount, you get the same amount until you get to year 5.
From the first year to the
Yes.
fourth year.
You get the same, you get the
Same amount.
same
to
amount
year
till you get
5.
to year 5.
Oh, okay.
So you
Yeah.
get the 2 weeks until you get to year 5, then year
Year
10,
3.
you'll get
4.
4, correct, a whole month,
Halfway there.
yeah.
Are you sure?
I am, I'm halfway there.
That's probably consistent with most.
I think
Okay,
there's,
I worked for 6 years for David's and I put in a lot of hours and every vacation I ever took was on my dime. So,
Yeah, it
you know,
happens.
I mean, and I work a lot.
so are we gonna change that or we're not gonna change it?
I'm very okay with that.
I'm okay with changing.
I'm good. We're making
Yeah.
it 2 weeks after.
Yeah, so, yeah, 2 weeks after you.
Next item,
Yeah, I
then.
have,
Okay.
Okay, so did you get
Move on,
that?
move on to the holidays.
holiday.
I don't think.
That's the other thing that was highlighted. Any questions on those?
Well,
7.
I didn't
Yeah,
know-
I had a
I
question.
didn't get are we doing federal holidays or not the federal holidays or what? are we-
The holidays that you
I
have
think-
up on the sign in the office.
Yeah, but those, we taking some of those off.
I
Whenever
think
this
as a,
post office is closed.
I think
Federal.
this, as a city government, I mean, we should do,
Federal.
you know, federal, follow the federal.
So
Banks aren't open.
instead of naming the holidays, do y'all want to put,
All federal holidays reserved.
Because they could always add to them. I don't think they've ever taken away a federal holiday.
What's the,
They
what's
just
the,
added
They've added
Juneteenth,
to it.
right?
what's the
Yeah, they
actual
just added
dates of
Juneteenth.
MLK Day and President's Day? Aren't they like 3 weeks apart?
Yep.
Pretty much,
We
yeah.
need to get rid of
15th day,
them.
President's Day, is
Huh?
I
the
think,
end of January and in the middle of February.
but I think since
Are you looking for a
we're
holiday?
running government, I mean, we should
It's
follow.
on the same
I think
day.
that's what
It's same
everybody
on
else
the-
is.
yeah, vacation
Didn't
page.
they
Under
have
that-
a list
under
of
that
about 15
yellow holiday.
holidays on it or something?
Man, I'm on vaping.
You're right, go like 2 pages after where you were.
I got
There
it.
you go.
I mean,
Oh, it goes in the
It's only
next.
11 holidays. It's not that big of a deal.
3, 4, 5,
So
7?
the city will recognize the paid holidays until further notice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's
what
that's
happened to
standard.
Memorial?
8, 9, 10.
What happened
There's
to,
actually 11. There's
what happened to
11.
Memorial Day?
11.
Yeah, so I printed out the wrong copy, I edited it, so Memorial
Yeah,
Day is not
11.
in here.
Okay.
And
Juneteenth?
Yeah, Juneteenth is a new federal holiday. Are we taking that one or no?
It's
not
a
in-
federal
it's not in-
holiday.
It's a federal,
I
it's a
mean,
federal
yesterday, the
holiday.
post office didn't run.
Yeah,
And the banks were closed.
Stock market was
Banks
closed.
I mean,
It's-
that's
it's
what I'm
a
saying.
day.
The post
I went to
office-
the
Yeah.
bank and it was closed.
That's
so
a new
Memorial
holiday.
Day isn't listed in here.
Put all federal
Well, the
holidays.
office was open
Put
yesterday.
all federal
I mean, when I was going to school, school was out for San Jacinto Day and Texas Independence Day.
No such thing now.
That's fact. Banks were closed.
Just,
So
Sabrina,
like
take that
Mardi
out
Gras,
and
yeah.
put all federal
Federal
holidays.
Fat Tuesday, whatever.
But that's
Yeah.
not a federal
There you
holiday.
How many
Well,
federal
no,
holidays are there?
A bunch.
About 50.
Well, then we can't afford
No.
it.
No. In the state of
I
Texas.
think
You
my,
can't afford that, but you just gave us another week of vacation.
Oh, man, she
My proposal is,
Gotta help Sabrina out here.
my proposal is to eliminate President's Day and add Memorial Day. Veterans Day, what's the date of Veterans Day?
You
November.
cannot, what if you hire a veteran and you don't give them veterans?
Well, it's
Day?
after
You're
Labor
in the
Day.
law.
That'll
what
be
now?
one of their sick days.
I said, if you have to hire a veteran and then you don't give them Veterans Day off, you're gonna be in a lawsuit.
Jeez, there's 16.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to discuss that.
16, Jeff?
I mean, I'm just saying, because I know they have to.
I don't have a.
That's their 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah, there's
Yes, I don't
16 Texas public holidays.
There is, but don't start naming those, because that is irrelevant. Caesar
I'm gonna tell you the
Chavez.
one that I never had.
Confucius
before,
birthday?
the day after
What?
Thanksgiving.
I'm taking that day.
You need
Well,
to
that's
digest the food.
everywhere.
I'm just telling you, I worked for 40
That
years
is
and I never had that
everywhere.
day.
Hey,
And
so,
I get
so,
that.
Here's my list. Okay, here's my list.
Tell me what's the number first.
We got MLK Day, we got President's Day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, you need to get rid of 3 of them.
I checked all,
Well,
see the ones I got
the federal
checked?
is 16.
Okay.
The federal
One,
is
two,
16.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 checked.
But you'll actually get more than that, because
Okay.
like for Christmas, you get at least 2 days, right?
Well, we're not getting Christmas Eve off anymore.
Yeah,
I
just
would,
Christmas.
I would add
We're not getting
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve off. I thought it was New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
yeah,
is
Christmas
okay.
Eve is it's not New
Christmas
Year's.
Eve is, that's a family
It's not
thing.
New
I
Year's,
mean,
it's not New
New
Year's.
Year's, Christmas
It's not
Eve,
New
we
Year's
never
Eve.
got Christmas Eve off. We always had to work, we got
I
off.
got Christmas Eve off and I
I
work
got,
retail.
I got
okay?
Christmas Eve on.
I just didn't
You
get
did?
New Year's Day or
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
Christmas
You're
Eve
probably
is a-
non-essential.
Christmas Eve is a holiday.
You're
Well, I was
non-essential.
definitely not.
I was essential.
We had 11 paid holidays.
That's all right, I got a vacation day.
Lonnie just got it right.
All right, let's
Hey, y'all,
bring it
let's-
point
hey,
of
let's-
order. Let's bring it
Yeah, let's
back.
go back to where
Let's
we
Reel
were.
it
just-
back in.
We'll
I
come back
think
and
we need 11
review.
paid holidays,
11,
Why are
pick
you
11.
set to 11?
because that's
Nice odd
2
number.
weeks more plus another day. And that's typical of what industry around here provides.
Plants?
Yeah.
That's what plants.
So which-
Plants don't get off the rack.
Right, and so you can't go and, parallel this, city government with the plants in that sense. I mean, that's just me personally.
But we have 11, we have 11 that
But-
are actually listed.
Okay, yeah, but
3
you
months.
you still, like she mentioned, and he mentioned, there's a extra one that's been thrown in the bucket, and he wants to take out one and add another one. I mean, are we
Well,
gonna,
then-
we're gonna go straight federal?
Well, then you have the in lieu of.
You go straight federal.
You have the in lieu
Federal
of.
is
If
16.
if it falls, if a holiday falls on a weekend, not
Yeah.
A work
a
day.
work day,
That's worded
you
in
take
there as
one
well.
Yeah,
in lieu of. So
That's worded in there.
we just need to set a number.
No more than 11 holidays, something, since we have 11 listed
She's
here.
hating because she's.
I have to work 7 days a week, I don't care.
I know, that's what
So-
she's hating because she's.
So can we agree on 11?
I could agree on 11.
Yeah,
Which 11?
11 sounds good.
We're gonna have to pick them, aren't we?
That's why
That
I'm
may
saying
be
like-
something that they could arbitrarily pick
Do y'all wanna pick the 11?
as it comes up.
As
It could be a float,
Yeah.
up to 11 holidays if they want to observe this one
Ones that are-
and not observe this one. You know, they want to do Cesar Chavez Day
Boxing Day?
or Boxing Day, you know, Canadian
Who
Boxing
can tell
Day.
me what Boxing Day is?
National Epilepsy Day.
It's not boxing.
All right, let's move this along, it's getting past my bedtime.
Canadian holiday.
8 o'clock. Can we have a motion to approve the employees handbook? Can I have a motion?
I motion.
A second?
Wait, I need a final answer on that.
11
11.
paid holiday.
11,
11 total.
11, so we're not going by all federals. We're going by
11 total.
All of them.
All right, all in favor of approving the handbook?
They're gonna,
Second, who's second?
no, there's still some more stuff
Oh,
before
I
we
thought you were
approve the
done.
handbook.
I didn't see anything else highlighted.
Okay. Wow. Let's see.
All right, we're finished with the holidays. What else, Bud?
Okay. Now, we discussed and talked about, and Jeff talked about this, and Jeff brought this to my attention. There's this thing in here about that the girls have to sign about acknowledgement of
What page you
surveillance
on?
cameras.
Or about the
page?
surveillance,
It's
the
back here
cameras?
in the.
All the way
it's
to
in
the end?
Yeah, it's toward the end.
All right.
It's right before ethical behavior. It's the one before.
Confidentiality agreement.
Yeah, we do good with that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the next page, on the back of that page, says acknowledgement of surveillance cameras, okay? And I would like to see that word changed to security cameras instead of surveillance cameras. Did we put them up for security, or what did we put them up for? I guess surveillance
Put
is
'em
the
up
part,
for
huh?
security.
Huh?
They were put up for security.
That's what I
No,
thought.
I mean, security, if that word's offensive, security covers everything too.
Okay, so I understand that surveillance cameras are installed both inside and outside the city office building. I think we had this discussion about putting cameras inside, and it even goes as far as to say recording activities in the offices, okay? Which would mean there'd be cameras in the individual offices in the
There are no
city.
cameras inside that office at all.
Well, and so.
There
so-
aren't, but we're saying we're gonna do it.
No, this isn't saying that we're going to do it. It gives the option
So-
to.
Yeah, we don't need that option.
So you're saying you want to keep surveillance, because with that definition, no, I'm asking, and I'm gonna get to you, and I'm gonna make a point. Hold on. Got it. Point of order, please. Surveillance, definition, against, security. So by putting surveillance, it gives us the right to put cameras inside the building. If we put security, then that allows us to have it just the way it is on the outside. That's the difference in the wording.
Right, exactly.
So are you wanting to remove it so we won't have that power in the near future to do that? That's what I'm just asking.
Okay, my opinion is there is a place to put a security camera for only monitoring only inside the office, and that's pointed at the front door.
No,
You know what I mean?
security is only outside.
No, it doesn't have to be. You can have security cameras inside the
You
building.
can have it inside the building.
Because we talked
But
about
I'm
putting one on the door.
I'm saying by definition to cover us. You know what I mean? So if you say surveillance, then we can put it inside the building, and we can do anything under surveillance to catch what's going on inside the building during the working day, as opposed to having cameras on every angle of the outside to deter criminals away.
That's a good idea.
So,
That's a good point.
So the word surveillance is more encompassing.
It is.
it is. That's what I wanted to get across.
So-
Thank you.
So,
We change it to security or leave it?
Surveillance is still the right
Leave
word.
it the way it is.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Covers them
so
both.
what are we gonna do about the cameras inside the offices?
This
Are we go-
this isn't really a mandate to do that.
I know it's not, Jeff, but it's
So-
a door, and it can be done tomorrow.
Only if they agree to it.
Who agrees to it? They don't have to agree to it. They're signing acknowledgement that they're there.
If they don't acknowledge it, I mean, this is something that we had discussed before, that if they are okay with it, then that's fine. But if not, we decided we weren't gonna go against what they wanted because it made them uncomfortable.
So you're saying they shouldn't sign theirs?
The discussion was made that they didn't mind it either way.
If for some reason they feel unsafe in their job and they ask us to install security cameras inside City Hall, we can do that.
Yeah.
Now, that camera, once put inside, and correct me if I'm wrong, once put inside, we cannot actually look at those cameras and actually,
computers or anything like that.
look at the
Absolutely
computers and
not.
actually, reprimand you for something we see on those cameras.
Absolutely not.
Well, it says right here, Lonnie, it says they
No
can.
audio, surveillance is just
It says they can,
visual, not audio.
right?
Yeah, it
So-
says inappropriate activity captured on the surveillance cameras may result in disciplinary action.
And so it needs to be
99% of
clarified.
that is
Yeah,
Because
help me
with
out.
surveillance,
Criminal activity.
you actually hiding the camera to catch a frivolous act.
You need to have them on the inside for their protection.
For their protection, but, you know, when Barbara put cameras in there before, all types of grief started, so that's why I pulled them out.
Well, she's not
I
married.
mean, if they're gonna just stay on the outside, I think, changing the word to security is fine.
It's up to their security, I mean, their safety. I mean, because sometimes we do get nasty people that go into the office.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true, nice point.
I mean, do we need to wait until something happens?
No,
Take
be
care of their
proactive.
safety right
Be
now.
proactive, yeah, but you brought up that point, I understand that.
Well, all right, look, here's all I'm gonna say. We went down this road before about having cameras in the office. We took the cameras out of the office because they had audio and video, okay? Now, I don't think it's appropriate to have an audio. I think Jeff is the one that said that it's not appropriate to have an audio camera inside that office, okay? The other part is that their computer screens deal with that. The audio part would be them taking a card number over the phone and the expiration date.
Yeah, that's already been,
I mean, so we hacked all that out before, but we're going right back to doing what we hacked out before.
it doesn't
according to
say
this
audio.
paper. No, it doesn't, but it says, it doesn't say not audio. You see what I'm saying? It just
Keep
says
going.
camera. It's such a little small thing, it's not, it's just right there. I mean, it's right at you.
Keep going, one more. No, go the other way.
It's like
One
the
more.
very last
One
page.
more. There you go.
I mean, it's just two little statements. And I just thought we had that cleared up before.
Well, these cameras are not even rigged for audio. There is
They're not.
nothing, there's no way to even do that unless you run a separate microphone somewhere. The cameras do not have audio capability.
Okay, but Jeff, we did have cameras in there that did.
Did,
capable
and they're
of
gone,
audio.
and we've got a whole new system that doesn't have audio on it.
Okay, so then we won't go back in there with audio cameras. I'm just saying this needs to be revised. I mean, we have to say that we're not gonna have them. I mean, I can't say that I would be against having a camera mounted on that wall pointed at that front door, because that back door is locked, okay? And they have a gate there too that's locked. And you have cameras outside, looking around the outside of the building. I think the building's pretty secure. A little bit uncomfortable when only one of them's at work. Yeah, you got one person sitting in there.
So if we add no audio or video only, would that make all the difference in the world for you?
That and then the recording activities in the offices. That means there'd be cameras in the office.
Potentially. I think that's what it seems. I didn't write it, but it seems like it's,
Doesn't it? I mean, to me, that's what it says.
Okay.
I mean, we've got 3 different offices in there.
Okay, but I think the only place we really need a camera at is in that front lobby where they collect money and stuff like that to pay the water bills and stuff. Not inside the little individual offices.
No, that's what I'm getting. I agree with you 100%.
Okay?
Yeah,
We're on the
that would be
same
more that would be more security.
Because those offices can have closed meetings and stuff in there that nobody needs to hear
That's
or
right.
see. Right.
That's right.
So basically where the transactions happen in that main part of the office.
yeah, we could put a camera right above the printer.
Yeah, over that way. Pointed at the front door.
Just point it at the front door.
Because 90% of the time, if somebody's gonna come in with a complaint, they're gonna have to come in with that office anyway.
They're gonna have to come in that door.
Come in at front door.
They should always have to
I
come
mean,
in that front door.
that's where they're gonna be.
That
okay?
gate needs to be
And that's
locked
where-
when y'all get in there.
To help protect them,
That's
okay, we need to,
We're
have
together.
something there to help back them up,
We're on the same page. I'm not against that.
okay?
I'm just against the word offices. I'm against, I want to make sure that there's not audio.
So I have a question. How is this going to protect them? And no one's going to
Well,
monitor these cameras.
It's more of a,
After the fact.
he says, she says type thing.
You're not
Can't do
audio.
that. You don't have
There's no
audio.
audio.
Well, no, well, I can, what you're asking, how it's gonna protect them.
Yep,
First of all, we have, I think you installed cameras on each corner of the building.
that's correct.
So now it's gonna either deter a criminal away, or if it's a criminal that really wants to get something done, now we have proof. You know, God forbid somebody does come in there and do something to those ladies when one of us are not there. There is proof.
After the fact.
After
Well,
the
it is
fact.
after the
And
fact.
so
We're
it's-
also-
it's- Yeah, but I mean, but there's, a camera is not gonna stop a criminal. If that criminal wants to, you know, do a criminal act, it won't stop them from going in and do that criminal act.
So
At
let me-
least we can give them.
Once the
and-
camera's installed, we have to provide notice at the door that your activity is
Yes.
being recorded, which
Correct.
is another preventative. You know, it's
Or we
another,
could just get one of those signs that says, these people are armed and will shoot you.
There you go.
go ahead, Gary, I'm
So,
sorry.
You have the right to carry.
I had cameras in my business, and so you get robbed, and you have the video surveillance, and you show it to the police, and they go, yep,
Who's that?
that's who it is. And so if he doesn't have a criminal record, in first place, they're not going to go back and look through all this video. They're just not going to do it. I'm just telling you, it's a false sense of security because it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, if it's a deterrent though, Gary, it's an inexpensive deterrent, if it is a deterrent at all.
Being a small
It just didn't
city,
work
we
for
know
me.
who these
That's all
people
I'm
are.
saying.
You know, as
You're
far-
just as dead. They shoot you, you're still dead. Well, I see who they are now.
But
The other thing,
at least, God forbid that happens, but at least we can actually give their family the comfort of knowing that we've done our part to actually have, you know, to actually.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So my question to you girls, do y'all have an issue with the camera being mounted on there aiming at the front door?
Not the front door. I just don't feel comfortable with the camera pointed directly on me. I
Right.
don't like feeling like I'm being.
So I think we're past that point because we agreed, well, we actually discussed
So we're gonna
that
change
it won't
this.
be in every individual office. Yours is being in the back, only where the transactions are being made. The money, you know, bills being paid. Well, bills being paid and just, I think that's what we're agreeing on.
We could actually cover
Right,
both
bud?
doors.
yeah, that's,
Just that area, that
Cover
main
both
area.
doors.
Side door.
we don't, the back door should be locked and
It's
the gate should
never-
be locked.
never
Well, we
locked.
need to start doing that.
We could
Then
still
Jim
cover
can't
both
get
doors
in.
though.
Huh?
Jim comes through the back.
Jim can't get in.
He would be lost.
Park in the front, man.
That's where the coffee pot is.
Whatever y'all.
All right, but anyway, let's get back to point. I mean, it's getting late.
But, you know,
Let's,
let me just
conclude.
say something. I know
Let's-
with the newer
let's-
schools and stuff, they put the surveillance systems in the classrooms. And there, of course, I come from a long line of teachers, as Lonnie does, but there's been a number of situations that I am well aware of where parents come in and made accusations against a teacher where her kid came and said, you know, my teacher hung my boy by the heels or some bizarre stuff, and they go back and look at the cameras and get it clear. You come look at the camera with
The
it.
other thing is,
And so you know, if you got somebody comes in there and it's getting irate, and I mean, it doesn't do anything physically, but he mentally abused you, we don't have to tolerate that, and then, you know, you could, gives us proof, we go back
we're
to him
not
and
gonna
say,
have audio.
well, I mean, you
And it's always
probably,
after the fact.
you can probably get an idea from body motion.
Body
and stuff,
language.
yeah.
Okay, so Jeff, the other thing was, is I went in that back room the other day, and there's a monitor in there, it's cool, and it's got the views of the cameras on there, and the convenience stores, a lot of them that I frequent, they have that screen out in the front where the people can see it, and that's a huge deterrent.
I gave them that option.
Yeah, I didn't know, I don't even know nothing about it, I'm just,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
could
I just
move it
saw it and
anywhere we
I
go.
said, man, that's awesome right there. You know, if that was out there in the front, then people would be going, man, they got my license number, they got my, you know,
You're
'cause
right,
they don't
that's a
really
good
know
deterrent.
that. They don't really know that those, you know, somebody, they don't really know those cameras there,
There's signs up.
not now.
Then we put signs up on the pump stations,
Excuse me.
No,
But not
Huh?
all.
not yet.
Let's see, who's over signs?
but we gotta put them up. We gotta put them up, right?
Let's go ahead and wrap up this employee handbook so we can.
I have
So-
one more question about the holidays. Could we do half a day Christmas Eve and half a day New Year's Eve? And the council as a whole day?
That's fine with me.
Is New Year's, I don't think New Year's Eve is on there.
It's not.
It's not, we give them half a day.
You know, a lot of times these things are gonna affect the, you know, I guess the water bills and stuff, huh? I don't know.
I think you guys should be able to
No, it just
choose
didn't matter what
from
day.
the 11 days, which ones you're going to observe.
You know, we had a floating holiday.
Pick 'em.
And you could, sometime during the year, you could pick the day you wanted. And I would, if you wanted, if you got it, you want to call number 11 a floating holiday and use it in 50% in 4-hour increments, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Or you want to use it, you know, you want to take off and
Why
go
don't y'all
to.
pick 11 holidays, and if you want to split one in half, do it.
They can share one.
Huh?
Yeah.
They can
But
share one.
can we agree to this can get changed? This form that they're doing here before we approve this handbook? Because I can't approve the handbook like it's
Inappropriate
written.
activity culture.
All the changes and stuff that we're gonna make.
Activities in the offices.
So take the S off. But
Activities
if we're
in the
gonna put a
office.
if we're gonna put a camera over the back door, I mean, that is such
Semantics.
minutia there. If we're gonna put one in the front, one in the back, that's plural. There's
Plural.
two. And so,
As long as they're not audio,
yeah,
okay?
We're good on
We-
that.
We've agreed that they're
Yeah.
not gonna be audio.
yeah, video only.
Then it's gonna be one at the front door, one at the back door,
Mm-hmm.
whenever we get around to it.
Okay,
So,
Quit picking the numbers.
all right.
All right.
are we
Can I have
good
a
with that?
motion to approve?
Not in the office.
Can I have a motion to approve the employee handbook?
And we're gonna take the S off, right?
Oh, okay, employee, I think the employee handbook needs to be updated first
And then bring it
before we
back.
take a vote on whether to approve it or not.
All right, so we were gonna table this,
Table
make the
it.
changes,
Well,
Yes.
what we've done before is,
That's right.
approved it with
Changes.
changes.
Approve it
Yeah.
with
Revisions,
amendments.
So we don't have to bring it back.
so I
Yeah,
have changed sick time to PTO,
Yeah.
11 holidays, changed vacation.
All right, so let's make a motion to
And
approve the
change
employee
I move
handbook.
we accept the
With
handbook
revisions.
With revisions.
with revisions.
With
All
the
in
revisions.
favor?
Second.
Any opposed? Oh, who made the first?
Jim Wright did.
Jim, you're making the
I
second?
made the second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Let's move on to consideration, discussion, and approval for job duties and pay rate for employee for the Public Maintenance Department.
I'll make the
Jim?
motion.
Yeah. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, it says maintain flower beds on city property. We already paying somebody to do that. So, I mean, I know that's just suggestions, right?
What you addressing,
Yes, sir.
I know which specific one.
Public Maintenance Department
Maintain
job description.
flower beds
Yeah,
on
I'm-
city property.
Maintain flower beds on city property?
Yeah, we're paying
So
somebody.
this,
This
this
is just
stuff
an
on
example.
here is
Just
a
suggestion.
It
I
doesn't
get it,
mean that
I get
that's
it.
what has to be done, I'm just saying, y'all need to figure out how much the person's gonna get paid, if they're gonna be part-time, full-time.
Contract labor, whatever you
Y'all
want
need
to
to
do.
figure that out.
See, I
so
think
that
we,
it gets money
didn't we
out.
want them to be like work on work orders or something?
They'll work,
It'll be
they'll
a
work
work,
off.
they'll work off of work order.
Yeah, work on work order, yeah, not stapling
On
paper.
demand.
Well, it's my job, but.
He wants your.
If you're not on a holiday or vacation.
All right, so,
Look,
That's
look.
right, mine's to play solitaire. I forgot. Yeah, we probably do need to get that.
Are we trying to agree on the duties, or are we trying to agree on accepting this as a job?
I think if y'all make a decision as to,
The rate.
we need to hire somebody, we're gonna pay them this much, this is the details of what they're gonna be working. And then it could be y'all just come up with, they're gonna do the odd man jobs the city needs done.
Aren't we gonna have to,
I don't really
aren't you gonna
know
have to be able to post that,
How
Sabrina?
to word that.
Aren't you gonna have to be able to, don't we have to put that out there,
We can do
you
it
know,
on the city website.
public, don't, you have to put it in the Examiner?
Well, I mean, it has to be publicly made, yeah, but it's,
I mean, are we
You
gonna
don't
be,
have to- I don't think it has to be in the Examiner, but.
It could go on the city
it doesn't
website,
have to.
it can go on
Put it
the
on
bulletin
website.
board, it can go
Look,
on Facebook.
Doesn't have to. we can
My
post it
my
on the
question is a little more fundamental, but do we know how much this is gonna cost us and where that money is going to
That's my question.
come from?
We're supposed to
And
have a
that's not in the
separate
budget.
budget.
I mean, we did not budget it for this year.
We need to talk about that for next year.
When is our budget meeting with
Well,
Charlotte?
we're looking.
September?
I get it.
August.
I know.
Months off.
That's right.
Then why don't we table this idea, even though it's a great idea, until we have our budget meeting in
Oh, I hate
August?
tabling that.
Well, yeah, I don't know
Because
that,
we don't know what our budget's gonna be.
it doesn't mean we have to hire him until next year.
Okay.
I mean, personally, I think we need somebody like this. I mean, I can fill him up for 6 months just with stuff I want to get done.
I don't have a budget, so I can't really send me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, Miss Thing here doesn't need to be cleaning meters on a weekend.
No, she doesn't.
No.
That's not okay.
I mean,
No,
no,
it's
no, I
not in
mean,
her job
Sabrina's doing
description.
stuff she doesn't need to be doing. She could be doing stuff that are working at a higher level. But when we pull a meter out that needs to go back to him, this guy, that ought to be the first thing he does, is clean those meters up so we can send them back and build our inventory back. So, because that costs us money when we have a meter down. And I'll talk about that in my section a little bit here, but I'm for this, but I don't know what our budget allows.
I don't have a budget.
She gone.
Well, yeah, you do, the whole city's got one. Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't have a budget. I mean,
So-
not for my part.
I did have an idea on if we were gonna work on a work order, because I've got 35, 40 years of bidding projects, and I don't use the WAG system anymore. I'm pretty technical with this. I have a national database that we pull. We can zero in on a specific zip code that brings in a national average to that particular area with regards to the historical cost of materials and labor. And so we could run a fundamental or a hypothetical work order system and just throw something my way so we can see what it looks like. Let's say Jim has a work order to clean this or to do these meters. If we're wondering what it would cost, we could just run that through my system and see what cost that would spit out. That way, it's known this is what the material should be and this is what the labor should be. And if they come up, you pull the work order in. We have a part-time guy that comes in on a Tuesday, and we got 4 work orders. Here they are. This is what they're going to pay, and this is how long it's going to take. Because you wouldn't want to give him 4 jobs that each take 7 hours each to do in one day. So it would be something that it would raise the expectation of what is required of that person. They would know right off the bat what kind of tools that we're going to need, how much time it should take, materials and all. If they need materials, go to Ritter, and we can just look at this and see how accurate it would be. And if we don't have the money for it, we don't do it.
Well, I was thinking a little more basic than that. How much we gonna pay this guy? Is he gonna be full-time? What it's gonna cost us in a year? Do we have money for a $15 an hour, 30-hour-a-week guy, or do we have money for 20? Yeah, I mean, I could throw a number in there. I can make up a number for material, but labor, what's this person gonna cost us? Have we done that? Actually doing the work is something.
It's gonna be a part-time job.
I always I double it. Every time I do something, I just double it. If it's a 2-hour job, he's gonna spend $15 an hour, that's $30. That's $60 what it's gonna cost. Doug?
Okay, what you're talking about, and I think what we're looking at, is something totally different.
Okay.
Okay, you're looking at, and I've seen this system before, that's why I know a little bit about it. You're looking at like having a contractor come in and do work.
Or even somebody out here like Chuck,
Okay,
Chuck.
Okay, well, I think what we're looking at here is this person is going to be a city employee.
Hourly.
Okay. That's what I understand that this position
See,
is going to be.
Well, I don't know if we've decided that. I mean, ideally, to me, I'd have
That's why
a
I'm bringing this up,
contractor
okay?
that
What do we
would,
want to look at? We want to look at doing a contractor coming in and doing work, or do we want to have a city employee doing the work?
But some of my work will be contract See, they'd have to have
That's,
tools.
that's why that's all I'm trying to do is bring this up, to make sure everybody understands what we're looking
But
at.
some of my work wouldn't be, some of my work would be spreading mulch and, you know, fixing the flower bed at the thing. You know, landscaping, not maintenance.
I think the original idea behind this was to have an employee, an actual city employee doing this work, not having a contractor come in and do it. Okay?
Well, no,
And that's what I thought also.
Yeah, a lot of
My idea was getting work done that we're just not getting done now. I mean, I can go out and contract Utility Innovations to do this stuff, but I don't want to pay them $55 an
I
hour
totally agree with
to
you.
clean out
That's
a
why I bring this
shop.
up, so, I mean, that's what he's looking at, what he's talking about. I mean, you can kindly look at it from an employee standpoint about how long it should take to do a job or something like that, but I think what we're really looking at, and I may be wrong here, but we're really looking at hiring an employee to do work.
A little.
And as
No, no,
as PRN,
$10
as
an
PRN,
hour.
right?
Right,
As
right,
PRN as needed.
right,
Needed, $10 an hour.
okay, so,
PRN
Just
as needed.
Part-time.
Part-time.
yeah, now,
I tell you
Do
what,
you think-
I
do you
mean,
think it's-
I can see we can keep a guy busy for a year.
oh, yeah.
For a year,
Easy.
but what about after that year?
Well, I don't know, depends on how he works out and how we expand his work.
Some of the stuff that's in here is ongoing, okay? You're never gonna get it all done.
True.
So, now the problem here is too, and I think Sherry and I have talked about this and even talked with some other folks and stuff about this before. You gotta remember that if you're gonna hire an employee to come in here and do these things, he's got to have the equipment to do it with, okay? So, are we gonna furnish that equipment, or are they gonna have to provide their own equipment?
Well, I mean, that's a good point, but it's not one we hadn't considered, it's just,
Well, this is things you're gonna have to consider.
Right.
well, I mean, it's what you want to
But I think,
Equipment.
I think we discussed that this is something that we're gonna actually look into for implementing for next year.
Okay? I'm just giving you food for thought here
I
to
don't
think
think it's
about.
been well thought out enough to even
No,
talk about.
That's why I brought
Yeah,
that
I don't
point
think
up.
we know.
Maybe a
About-
subcommittee.
About next year, I mean,
We don't know which
because
way to
by
go.
that time, you know.
well,
we'll
to me,
know
the
about
idea would
budget
be to have a contractor out there that can just, issue work orders and he comes and.
Let me ask y'all this, can we hire, I'm just gonna say, for instance, we put it out there, put it on the website, you can put it wherever you want, but can we hire Chuck to come?
He's moving.
He's moving.
No, maybe
Yeah,
not.
He's moving to Riverbend, got him a house, so,
Good.
hopefully.
Is it, let me ask you this, if hiring Chuck is something you're willing to consider, can we?
I'm just,
No, no,
I'm throwing him out there
I'm-
because
I'm just asking you because every one of you guys have a $2,500 budget now.
I know,
So,
but the
but-
problem I have, Sherry, is I can't hire Chuck and let him do more than $600 worth of work unless he has $9 million worth of insurance and stuff.
But see, this
hire
guy,
him as an employee.
if he's our employee,
If we hire
say
him-
he's part-time, he's gonna report to Sabrina.
And
And
then
Sabrina's
me as
gonna
mayor, I
get-
can hire him because that's my job is to hire employees.
Yeah, and he would report to her, or Heather, or whoever.
Well, see, he's got some tools, and he can do some of this work, and he's a younger guy. He can go shovel this, and he can rake
I mean,
that,
if
he can
that's
put
the
that flower
case-
bed in, he can do that.
If that's the case, Bud, we don't need to go through all of the, definitions of what we need for that position.
But how does it hurt, but how do you get around the $600 rule?
Oh, hire him as a part-time employee.
Huh?
If it's a contractor, but if they're with the
Hell,
city,
you
they're,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
they're insured.
I mean, just give me the
They're
ability
under
to
the
hire
umbrella
him.
of our insurance.
Yeah, he's actually employed by the city.
1099.
Be a part-time
Well,
city
1099.
employee.
So is this guy gonna be insured?
No,
Through
as
the
a
city.
part-time, as a.
No, no, I mean, I'm talking about,
Health insurance and all?
Right.
He'd be part-time.
No, part-time, not as part-time.
Yeah, and if not, he can sign a waiver.
There you go, absolutely, can sign a
He can
waiver
sign a
like,
waiver.
like Heather was told to
Yeah,
do.
as part-time, he's not.
Right, Bud? He can sign a waiver.
I mean, so can we change this a little bit and just give me the authority to hire him?
I don't know how you, I don't know if that's legal.
I mean, it's,
What if it is-
I've never.
I mean, aren't you
have
supposed
the
to put it out
ability
there
to
for
hire.
everybody to be able to look at? I mean,
I
I don't
have the
know.
ability to hire without even
Well,
putting
well,
it out
he's
there.
he's saying, okay, well, I didn't
Yeah.
know. So, because I think his thing is, he's saying that for a position,
Then it should advertising on the website.
it should be advertised.
So we can take this information, we can put it on the website, and
Not really, well, I mean,
I mean,
I don't know what you
Classified
put
as a
on.
handyman?
handyman.
Yeah, handyman. How about that? But let's
And
not
then-
put these things down here.
Yeah, just
you
put
know?
it as a handyman and
Well, I
not
think
really
you gotta
define.
Man,
it.
it's
Something
cutting
like
limbs
that.
back on overhanging over streets, man. You
I mean,
talk
a lot
about
of-
opening up a wasp nest with that, because then you got people that aren't gonna maintain their trees and all that.
Yeah, let's-
Their tree trimming.
Yeah, 'cause
Huh?
I'm trying to get a
Let's see
date out of
what
them.
Entity does with their tree trimming that they're supposed to.
Well, they're not gonna, they don't care about the streets, they're gonna do highlands. They don't care about the school bus.
I mean, this guy sounds like the ideal guy we've looked at. We've tried, what, 3 before him?
Exactly.
2 or 3?
And I'd rather not lose him.
And if he's interested in doing that part-time,
He's gotta close on this house
That's
now
about,
first.
we're putting the cart before the horse, because we don't even know for sure if he's gonna be here.
well,
That's
I
right,
mean,
we don't know.
Right, so, but
We hope.
We'll take into consideration at least. I mean,
I guess,
Why don't we put it out there and see if
See what
he even
happens.
wants?
Yeah, we can do
All
that.
Well, I need to know what.
But the only place that you have to post it, if
That's
you're
the
gonna
next
post a
website.
job, is Employment Security Division.
I would say, I've read this a million times. The pay will be
Commensurate
determined
with
by
security.
experience or whatever.
Yeah, to be determined.
The city council or the mayor, whatever. Well, it's pretty much gonna be,
I mean,
hey
when
Chuck,
we
how much
hired
you want?
Heather,
I mean,
we
I don't know
decided.
what you're gonna do. I don't know.
We
This
told
is
Heather
another
this is how
reason to
much,
point back
and we
to
gave her more.
an example of the work order that I could produce, because we just plug in an average hourly rate, and it's determined by the zip code. These are what the standards are. This job is going to
Yes.
compel. It's gonna take this much time, kind of like doing an estimate on a damaged vehicle.
well.
My son did that with the insurance.
Give me what the rate is of a semi-skilled worker around here.
I can
That's
do
what
that.
it is.
I can do that.
It's about $12 an
Huh?
It's a lot more than that.
About how much?
It's a lot more than that.
How much?
hour. I need a job.
Based on experience.
How much?
She said
I
12.
was
12,
thinking
you ain't
12.
gonna get nobody.
No, it's a lot more than that.
I tell you what, you
City
teach them how to weed eat and all that.
I'll hire him too. Keep me.
I've got, again,
anyway-
the database is in my office, and it's kept up to date.
Yeah, that's
So-
what it is.
I would love to have just an example of a work order that we could plug in, or I can make one
Doug
hypothetical.
can give you a
Change
copy
it
of a
out,
work order that
I
he
think
has
just
sent
change
to
it
someone
out,
meeting out
Water
leads.
meter
Experience.
reports.
Yeah, they have
Well,
work
yeah,
orders
work orders
that
and
you
That
can
maybe
tie to
bill it.
every
That's, that, yeah, tie to every address and everything, and we just put them in, and we can assign who it gets, or we can assign it to Utility Innovations, or we can assign it to
Absolutely.
John
We have
Hancock,
it.
or we can assign it
But
to.
does it put the action, the activity, and the maintenance, and the materials and labor involved, and about how long it should take? So that's what I'm saying, this program
He just
does
needs an
that.
example.
And so if you have, if somebody turns in a work order, I need this done, this will give you an approximate timeline.
How long is it gonna take?
And so if Chuck comes in, he says he's gonna maybe work 2 days, 3 days a week, that's,
Make the job
say,
better.
16 hours a day, we can go through the work orders, and here's 16 hours for the work orders. This is what you should accomplish, and this is what it's gonna pay.
But then that's gonna take all of the work orders that they're generating, it's gonna have to go from them to you and then to him?
It would just
or
be this is just a starting point. We just gotta get off of dead center
Just,
and do something.
I need you to try it on to make sure it's gonna work.
Yeah, try it on, so I
So
can get
before
them
you
fixed.
leave, I need you to try it on, so we can go get names and stuff.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No
All right,
harm, no
so
foul.
can we go ahead and move on? Let's do a motion to approve putting a job posting out for a handyman.
Yes, please.
Based on experience, pay based on
Ba-
experience.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I wrote down. Stay
Exactly.
based on experience.
I motion.
Have a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, no
I
opposed.
mean, just because we put posting out, don't mean we're hiring nobody.
No, yeah. All right, time for reports. I don't have anything to say, so we'll move on to Bud. Got nothing?
I mean, I need Sabrina to help me, one day next week maybe. And we need to make an appointment with our lawn maintenance guy, because he hasn't completed the jobs that we as a council agreed on him cutting this and doing that and fixing back here. He hadn't touched this again. There's just some things that basically we need to bring to his attention. And Sabrina's got it all wrote down, but when we took him around and we agreed to doing this and doing that, you know, plus I would like to have somebody with me that was there when we agreed on all this stuff, you know? And so we can say, hey, man, you know, we need you to do what you said you were gonna do. He hasn't mowed inside that rainwater retention pond down there. And it's freaking, you know.
Was there a contract?
He
Okay, so
accepted the
that's all we
price.
need, that's all we need to know.
He accepted the
That's
price.
it, that's all we need to know.
Yep.
So,
So, I
Good,
mean,
good deal.
I would like, I'd like, you know, that's just one of my little things that I need to take care of. I need to-
all right, okay. That'll
So-
be easy, that should be an easy fix.
As far as the parks, I've heard some reports from some people that said that they, you know, we need some more type of mulch and stuff inside the playground area, okay? And so, I'm gonna have a question to y'all right quick, is what do we put in there? I mean, rubber mulch is high.
He's in charge of the parks, he can decide.
That's just,
Bruce's, have Bruce's deliver some out. Take a dump truck load of
Just put
bark-
mulch in it?
Mulch, yeah.
I'm good with mulch, I'm here.
Yeah.
Mulch.
yeah, it's mulch, and so you're, cause that's your area, correct?
So I would just suggest that probably thinking it through, we don't use any that has any dye in it because that stuff gets all over the kids' clothes.
No, Bruce's is all organic.
Huh?
The stuff that Bruce's delivers is all organic.
He's got some black and he's got some red. I bought it.
Well, we don't,
That
yeah,
red,
well,
red.
you're right, we don't need that.
Yeah, we
that's for
don't need
sure.
nothing with, if we just get some plain mulch,
Mhm.
you know, and put it in there. I think that'd be satisfactory.
Yeah, see what
We just
a
get-
load of that would cost.
Get a truckload and get it delivered.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Talk to him about it, what's the best for.
Yeah, I'll ask him. There you go. Okay, well, I'll follow up on that, let y'all know about that. Is there any other, does anybody know of anything else in my field? Parking lots, the only thing I can do, I can't do a whole lot with this parking lot out here because this building is sitting on the ground. And if we build that up any more out there, we have water coming back this way. So I think we could maybe get I have a guy that sells slag and he'll tailgate it for like $320 a load. If you get 2 or 3 loads, he might do it a little bit cheaper. He goes to the steel mill and gets it and he, you know, delivers it. It's higher a cat, you know, down the road. If he tailgates it, there'll be very little bit of spreading to do, you know. Just take care of this over here. I'm not too worried about up against the building, but get this out in the front kind of fixed and maybe around the office up here because I put that stuff that Doug said around that office and that stuff tracks in that office all the time. And I mean, I'll be willing to go scrape that away from there because that's horrible. That tar just.
It's kind of washed out now, though, hasn't
No, it's still little beads.
it? Track, isn't it?
Still those little big.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, if we can get some slag down there, we can, does anybody else have anything to say? That's in my department?
One thought I had something, does any of that equipment here require inspections or any kind of documentation?
Got a thing from them the other day, and there's a guy that does playground inspections. I ran through an incident with Drew out here years ago when a swing broke, okay, and somebody broke their finger. And then the way that reads on public parks is, the law is you're on your own when you're in a public park. I mean, so if we start inspecting it, we're probably gonna have to start doing a routine inspection. I mean, I think if people see something, they're gonna say something. I mean, they do say something now. They say there's not enough mulch down there. I think if they see something that's broke, then we'll fix it. I don't know that we need to pay a company to come out with it.
That should be on a routine inspection anyway.
Is there a
It
sign?
never has been, ever out
Just because you didn't do it, don't mean it shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, according to the lawyer, it doesn't, you know, it's not
But
even
our
required.
kids are involved though, and you found somebody who would do that?
There's a guy,
I don't think,
Somebody stopped by the office and gave us a pamphlet.
what we're talking about, is that like a legal inspection that we're talking about? That somebody certified have to go and look at?
I'm wondering
Can
if
the
we need
lay
to-
public can walk by, you're mechanically inclined, he's mechanical, or, you know, and say, oh, this needs a
I'm wondering if
screw,
we need to
or
run that
this
by the
is-
lawyer to find that out. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, because now that's saving us a whole lot of time and money. I mean, somebody can walk by there
Did he give us a
routinely
price?
and look at the swings
No,
or
we
whatever.
just had a pamphlet.
Oh, just a pamphlet?
But also,
Yeah, fire extinguisher, exercise, you know, you gotta do
also, I don't know, cause I'm rarely over there, but my wife and them, they are. I suggest, just to cover us, have a sign put up, you know, play at your own risk or something like that.
It may be on that big sign.
Yeah, I don't know.
It may be, but if not, it needs
So
to
just
be.
That's the way,
just check
that's the
into
way in Texas, that's the
Yeah.
way parks are.
But just have, you know, just check into
We
it.
could do
and-
that.
and- Yeah, and see if you have.
And the other thing that I'm gonna do, and I don't really, I'm just gonna do this, okay? We have hurricane season coming, okay? We've had a pile of sand over there before at that park. And precinct 1, we can get sandbags from precinct 1, you know, a bale of them, you know, not that anybody's ever gonna fill one. But we could have them on hand in case, you know, we have a hurricane and somebody wants sandbags. They don't have to come out here the day before the hurricane and dump a load of sand.
Outside the city, you know.
That's right. So if I put a sand pile down there at the playground area, if kids happen to play in it, well, so be it. If their mamas don't want them playing in it, then they need to tell them to get out. That's all.
Whereabouts, do you have a
I'm
spot?
thinking if we can get in between those rocks and those, right there on the corner, and go around there, kind of have them back in around there. I've been waiting on it to dry up, okay? Have them back around that curve right there and dump it kind of under the trees.
And it would be used in case somebody wants sandbags.
If they needed sandbags, they could get at it.
The park across the street from our church, they put a big, huge pile of sand in there, and they buy one every year, and them kids wear that thing out. They're not even playing on the equipment, they're playing in the
Yeah.
sand.
They'd rather play in the
All right.
Yeah, I get a load about once a year too, and
I
that's it.
used to do it
The
all the
kids
time, just
spread
for
it
the
themselves.
kids.
That'll be a great idea.
In the
Cats love it.
And then we can say that, you know, it's for sandbags if somebody
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for sandbags, because we always had a pile over there.
Dog
It just had a
walks and
sign on it,
sandbags. Okay.
don't stay off the sandbag.
Let's get,
All right, Gary, you got anything?
Man,
Gary's
I'm
good.
shining bright.
Good deal. Jim, anything?
Yeah, real quick, May was one of the best months we've ever had since I got the bottled water plant, until today. And we got a water leak down here on Sweet Gum that may require a good bit of effort to get to because of the location of it.
Can't help
It's not in anybody's house in Friendly. Probably when we get to it, we'll probably have to cut some water off somewhere, but we'll know more about that probably next week. 41 senior discounts. All right.
I'm one of them.
22's coming.
Including
Actually, we
us.
got 45.
45?
We have
Wow.
45.
Okay, all right, I got a new count, 45. That was very positive. Y'all did a good job on that. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Look at him.
And we still got 480 water connections. We've kind of stabilized at that number for a while, the new ones and ups and downs. So I think that'll probably, what are you looking for, Matt?
No, they're getting ready to go.
Okay.
I'm listening, I'm not.
And we only had 3 or 4 cutoffs last month, so what we've done around tweaking the timing of cutting people's off and
that's a win.
the callbacks and also we raised awareness because we got people's attention. So
Workman's comp.
I think we made some, we made some tweaks to our system that improved that. And not being, total jerks, but we also were losing money doing that. And the one last thing is we have practically all of our houses on meters.
Nice.
And we were losing, up to around $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
about that. That's an estimate. And we're back now. We've had a couple of folks get upset because all of a sudden they hadn't had a water bill more than $45 for 9 months. They got
It
one
is
for
what it is.
$180, so.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, anyway, oddly enough, I mean, the costs were way down. We had very few failures. Best month I've seen. We've got a couple of issues we're working with. All right.
Anything, Lonnie?
Nothing to report.
But Doug,
Don't have anything?
Jim, Jeff, sorry, Terry.
I got a couple of things. I bring a huge thank you from the cab team to the council. We had a meeting Tuesday night, and we had at least 3 representatives from each ward here, and they were all very, very appreciative of the work the council has done on getting our ordinances up to date and moving forward with the ordinance violations. They're just over the moon excited about that, and they wanted to give a thank you to, I feel like I'm at a circus here.
Sorry, she's having help with all the little rings. 'Cause
I'm
I
sorry.
couldn't do it either.
3 rings are good.
It's a 3-ring circus.
Physically, yes.
I'll wait.
Sorry. Jen.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll
I'll
wait.
do this for you.
Let me take mine.
I will.
Sorry.
Well, that's good.
So they're very appreciative and want to tell y'all thank you. If somebody would have been here tonight and endured all the other stuff, they would have said it personally. Got a real neat opportunity from Meals on Wheels. We were approached from somebody out here actually initiated the contact, and then the director for, what do they call it, on-site meals. What they want to know if we're interested in 5 nights a week or 5 meals a week here that they would provide for our elderly and shut-in.
So they can come out and socialize and stuff, and they provide the food and everything. It was,
That's a
they
good
called
idea.
the office, and I gave them Jeff's number because of community outreach, but she's super nice. She's just trying to help people get out of their house.
It's a good idea.
Meals on Wheels.
So it's
So
it's a Jefferson County,
So they'd like come here and bring some meals, and
They would
us
bring the meals
elderly
here.
people, like me and Bud, could
Yeah,
come down
you
here
guys
and
can
get a
hang
free
out.
meal.
yeah. All we've got to do is tell them yes. They only start on the very first day of the month.
I don't really need it.
So July is already done, maybe August, may not even be until September, but it would be the first day of the month. And it would be in lunchtime. There's a small registration, not fee, but a registration period so that they'll know how many people are interested in it. And if it does go down and we okay all this, it would be a great opportunity to have, to serve our elders, our old people, our elders and shut-ins. And it was just, it doesn't cost us a thing. They would definitely take donations. We could incorporate a bingo night, a movie night. We could use this facility, and for those who can't make it out to here on location, they would be willing to deliver. But it'd be 5 days a week for as long as we want it to happen. So I wanted to just kind of throw that out there. We're considering it. When I mentioned it to the cab team, they jumped up and down and said, we'll do whatever you need to do. We're all about it. I said, well, I'm going to bring it to the council to make sure that we're all on board with it.
They already delivered 5 days. 5 meals?
Out here,
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just
I
trying to
don't
get
know.
people together is what she told me.
they would like to use this facility.
To get
and-
so they get them out of the house.
Out of the
and
house.
Socialize and stuff like that. Because a lot of people are shut-ins and they don't ever get out.
So if there are shut-ins that want to get out, that may be another opportunity for us to even maybe go pick them up and bring them here, or maybe if there's a bus somewhere, we could, a people mover, we could use that, or maybe a church could volunteer. That's just something that we're working on. July 4th celebration. We put the poll out there. I was kind of thinking we'd have it on Friday night or Saturday, and overwhelmingly everybody wants it on Thursday night or Thursday. And so we began planning this Tuesday night, and looks like we'd have set up starting at 4. We'd start serving at 5. This is hypothetical. I want to just kind of give you all a broad overview of this. We're looking at calling it the Independence Dollar Days, so that we'd have hot dogs, snow cones, bottled water, perhaps a dunking booth, all at $1 a piece. And the dollar would simply go back to pay for some of the stuff that we're doing. But it would also, you get their participation. We would sell tickets. Instead of having cash transactions at each booth, they just buy tickets. We could have one point of contact for that. We print our own tickets, so you can't just go to Walmart and get your own tickets and bring them to the celebration. So hypothetically, we're looking at set up at 4, start serving at 5, and we've got Todd Lipscomb looking at perhaps getting us some cornhole tournaments set up. He said we could comfortably do that with 3 sets. He has one. Rhonda will provide a second. I would imagine we've got people out here that's got cornhole boards that would not have a problem bringing them up here. He said we can do 20 or 25, maybe 30 people with 3 sets of boards. Sounds good to me.
And you're gonna do it here?
At the park.
Oh, at the park?
At the park, yes, sir, at the park. And so...
What's the date for this, Chip?
July 4th.
Boy, we ain't got much time.
Well, everything that I've just talked about seems to be rolling pretty quickly. And if it doesn't all pan out, we'll at least have activities there. I've been looking for a water slide, and those are really hard to find. People that still have them have dropped them because the insurance is on it. So it may just be a bounce house. It may just be a slip and slide, something for the kids to come out and have fun with. It's not going to be expensive, and then our dollar days would pay for a lot of this.
You'll have to get water.
Yeah. There's that won't be a big challenge there either, because we have lots of hoses, and we've got the fire station there. We've also got water that was there for the old trailer. You know, that's a potential. We started talking about that. We've got cases and cases of water that's already been donated for it, which is spot on. So I've checked with Amber. I've given her a list several weeks ago. Not Amber. Cohen. Amanda.
That's Amber.
Is it Amber? Okay. Yeah, I sent that to Amber several weeks ago, and I'm hoping that she gets back with me soon on a price. I do already have the price from the person we bought last year from, or for the New Year's. Let's see, the budget, I'm looking at maybe $3,800, maybe $4,000 budget. That would include the fireworks, and that would include having the porta potties out, and that's probably a high budget, because when it's all balanced out and the dollar days comes in, we'll probably have $400 or $500 put back in and pay back on that. Looking at setting up for the parade at 6:30. Parade starting at 7. Parade may start at 7:30 depending on the time and the sun. And then fireworks starting at 9. There will be a contest for the best decorated bicycle, motorcycle, golf cart, UTV, car, truck, that kind of thing. We want to have a big parade, well organized, and the route has been established going back to the old route where it takes into account all the little zigs and zags. So we're well on our way to planning, but before I announced anything on Facebook, I've got a flyer ready to go. I wanted to just present this like we said we wanted to. So about a $4,000 budget. I don't think we'll spend all of that. And again, some of that will be coming back in with the sale of the hot dogs, waters, snow cones, And, let's see.
Is that within the budget of the?
Mhm.
Yeah, I looked at it there. They want to spend 8,000 something.
So that's what we have going on for the 4th. We have further plans for September 14th on the car show. That's coming up. We've already got some donations on that as well. That'll be more information coming on that.
What'd you budget for the fireworks?
2,400. Is that about right?
Yeah, I mean, depends on if you get the deal,
Yeah.
you know?
I know for a fact that we can get what we got last time.
Okay, well, that was a good
From
show
this person.
for that amount of money.
Yes.
Well, that was a good show.
And I've given Amber everything, but I also told her I was gonna try to put it on Friday or Saturday, so it's not in direct competition with her.
Yeah, and you went to the 4th, so
Yeah.
you're probably out like a fat kid in dodgeball.
I like that. And that wasn't even my decision. You know, we put it out
I get
as a
it.
poll to see, because at the end of the day, this is who we're trying to appease, is the citizens.
Yeah.
And so I think we can have a good turnout. I think we can have a lot of fun and start things in the right order for building upon this and having other park activities like Christmas in the Park. July, we'll start planning our Christmas in the Park. Barbara wants to be involved in that. We've got a lot of people excited about that. Anyway, it's just a lot of good stuff coming up. We're working on a lot of stuff.
Good job.
And the CAB is really excited about it. And to have this council back us on that is huge. So is there any issues with that budget, that $4,000 budget?
No,
Anybody?
you're within your spending limits of what you set for the year, right?
But as a consideration, as a courtesy, I wanted to bring that to council.
that was
before
good.
we advertise anybody, to anybody. So whenever I do start setting the flyers out on Facebook, please post and repost and give us positive comments on it so that everybody sees that the council is behind this. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Anything else?
That is the last of what I have.
I have a motion to dismiss.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, good job. Good meeting.
All righty.
Good and done.
Do y'all need some help picking up this stuff?
Just turn the mics off if you don't mind.
Lights off, you're fine.
I was gonna suggest that they get the maintenance
Yeah, okay.
guy.
Hey, I need that paper.
Yes.
Mhm.